Hello everyone and welcome to today's live stream. I'm Emmanuel, I'm a Boeing 737 pilot and a member of PMDG's tech team. Today we're going to fly from Amsterdam to Vienna on the Vienna Amsterdam shuttle event on VATSIM. And hopefully we're also going to find all the way back to Amsterdam in time. So let's not lose any time, let's get where we want to be. And let's start with a flight plan. Quick look over here. Planned optimum level 370, Amsterdam to Vienna. And cost index 30 is rather high. So let's get down to the weather. Vienna is reporting CAF OK. So does their alternate, Bratislava. And I'll spare you guys the NOTAMs. You know how to read them if you want to. Alright, so let's make a decision on the fuel. We've got additional 10 minutes in here because the transition is not included in the flight plan. On top of that, it's Sunday evening, it might get pretty busy, so let's just take 15 minutes on top of it. So that ends it up 600 kilos more, make it 6.2 tons of fuel. That should be more than sufficient for our flight to Vienna. So we have our airplane ready here. It's the real-life config of the very same aircraft of the Papa Hotel Bravo Golf Golf, which is a KLM 737-700. Let's also start with our panel state, slightly different this time. So the airplane just came in from another flight and the crew has given us over the airplane. All that we've got to do real quick, change the fuel values. Unfortunately it still loads with slightly different numbers than I would like it to load, but that's not a big deal at all. So we'll need a fuel truck. We are most certainly going to board through the jetways. So let's get our stairs here disconnected and get the jetway on. We've planned 120 passengers on this one, and we also want some loaders here. We'll take 1,000 kilos in the front hold and 400 kilos in the aft hold. So all that can be done for on the right box. Let's start doing something useful on the left one. First of all, standard check, real time, real weather. So let's get this thing going. 737-700, IRAC is up to date. And we've got 24K engines. The IRS is aligned already, but since we're doing a crew check, let's just do a quick realign. Put this into align, back into nav. We're in Amsterdam here with the GPSL position. Right, route. We're going from Amsterdam to Vienna. Request. Yep, that's it. Select. And here we go. While we're waiting for the flight plan to fetch all the necessary data, let's go into SimBrief and actually start setting up for our trip. Route uplink ready. Load. So we're going to Udopo. We'll see which departure they will be using here in Amsterdam. There is nothing online quite yet, but the event is only going to start in 16 minutes, so that's quite alright. We are at the KLM 25 Foxtrot today. And for the runways, that's a little bit hard to determine, but let's actually do a quick cheat here. Just have a look at Flight Radar 24 and see what runway they're using in real life. So that gotta be a runway 09 up here, if I'm not mistaken. Let's quickly compare that to the charts. Yeah, that's runway 09 that they're using. And quick look, runway 09 is in, departures, is there anything? Yeah, Idupa 3 X-ray. That doesn't look like it is from our runway. Let's see, 09, and there is no edu posted. Okay, then we're going to see what they're going to come up with. But I guess we'll find out early enough. Well, we'll see which sit they're going to give us. Let's just leave that empty for now. And the arrival in Vienna is planned on runway 34. We've got the Venon 2 Whiskey. And if I'm not totally mistaken, that brings us the Nerdu 2 November. Let's see real quick. Yeah, Nerdu. So Nerdu 4 November by now. Okay, that's good enough. So the refueling can start. Let's quickly get that jetway. Is it coming? Yep. And we've got to wait for the ground services to arrive due to the fueling in progress, but that's fine. Transition altitude in the Netherlands pretty low, just 3,000 feet, so that's all we need. Engine outset for this one is taking us straight ahead, climbing 3,000 feet, 25 miles out. I believe in Vienna it was a bit higher, we'll confirm it as soon as we are approaching the airport. QNH 1018, put that in as well. And for the winds, we're just going to request them later on. Okay. And while we're at it in the flight plan, we're looking at 600 feet elevation in Vienna. Alright. Initial climbs in Amsterdam mostly around 60, but until we get our actual clearance, I don't quite know yet what we can take here. Same for the other MCP values, I'm just setting it for something general now for runway 09, and we'll do the exact setup once we have some more information on which departure to expect. Right, let's see if there's any ATC by now. Yeah, delivery is just coming online, 121975. That's just what we needed now. Skipper delivery, good evening, KLM 25 Foxtrot, request IFR clearance to Vienna, no ATIS. It's KLM 25 Foxtrot, request IFR clearance to Vienna, no ATIS.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, good evening. I haven't received a flight plan.
Stand by. That's interesting, I did pre-file it, but then let's just do it again. Most likely somebody else pre-filed for the same call sign, since it's a real call sign for this route this evening. And then it would be taken out of my own WhatsApp account. KLM 25 Foxtrot, have you received the flight plan now?
Hey, firm, I have received it. Please stand by.
Shipper delivery, good evening.
At the same time, let's quickly prepare some toolkits.
Copy clearance to Vienna. That's fine.
Agent 379, good evening. Your cleared to Vienna. Ready to fit for departure runway 36 left. Initially climb flight level 60. Squawk 1000.
November 379, clear to Vienna via 36 left runway. Initial flight level 60. Squawk 1000. November 379.
Sorry, you are about 379, please confirm ready to fit for departure.
Runway 25, Europa 379.
Randy to Victor departure runway 36 left.
Skipper delivery, Eurowings 902.
Pass your message.
Get C6 ready for IFR clearance to
So everyone's starting to get the clearance now. Let's hope that he didn't forget about us.
yeah, IFR clearance to Vienna, thank you.
It's pretty hot in the cabin. Let's put on the APU.
Eurowing 902, you're cleared to Vienna. Ready to Victor departure runway 36 left. In Italy, climb flight level 60, squawk 1000.
Runway 26 last departure, initial flight level, flight level 60, squawk 1000, Eurowing.
I normally don't like doing it, but I have a feeling he's forgot us, so we're just going to push it a little bit.
Confirm Randy to Victor departure.
Runway 36 left for departure, Eurowings 902.
Please confirm the departure routing. Randy to Victor.
Ready to... Oh, thank you.
Eurowing 902, read back correct. Report ready for push and start.
Eurova 379, please confirm standard departure is Rendu to Victor. Is that correct?
Affirm, that's correct.
Rendu to Victor, runway 36 left, Eurova 379.
Read back correct. Report ready for push and start. Other station calling.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, still ready to copy any time.
Okay, we will call back for push and start, Eurova 379.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, please go ahead.
Yeah, KLM 25 Foxtrot, we are ready to copy IFR clearance anytime.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, you're cleared to Vienna. Ready to Victor departure runway 36 left. Initially climb flight level 60, squawk 1000.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, clear to Vienna, Randy to Victor, departure 36 left, flight level 60, squawk 1000. Do we have any slot?
KLM 25 Foxtrot, not at the moment. I'm keeping everyone for Vienna on my frequency on the ground sector.
Roger.
Good morning, KLM.
Okay, so...
Delta 5.
Yeah, I can definitely understand his pain. It's always like this when you start an event and the initial outbound rush starts, then it's always that everybody wants clearance at the same time. Okay, so departure runway 36 left, Randy to Victor, and that probably ends at our initial fix. Yeah, it does. Okay, perfect. So let's do a departure briefing then. Threats for the departure. It's going to be quite a complicated taxi here in Amsterdam and quite a long taxi as well. So once again, we're going to take it slow and we are going to
flight level 60, squawk 1000.
and once again, if there is any doubt, we are just going to stop. Let's do a route check then. Echo to Alpha Mike to Lima Oscar Whiskey Kilo Lima Foxtrot 25 Foxtrot. So for the routing, we're going to fly via Edupu, Zulu 739 Misco, direct Dixat, direct Podip, direct Tasca, direct Badu, direct exit India, direct exit, direct Venen. And the ground distance for this one? 554 versus 614. The difference is due to the arrival transition. 2.9 remaining, and we'll need 1.7 for a diversion to Bratislava. That's alright. Let's see, we still don't have an ATIS, otherwise I would love to put a Q&A gen, but let's have a quick look here. It's 1016. And then for the MFRA we're probably looking at 1,000 feet or so. So, time UTC 1627, altimeter 1016, reading about minus 30. I'm afraid 1,000 flight directors on, minus master standby instruments are not set yet. But set now. So, this is going to be left C takeoff, runway 36 left, flaps 5, NRDP 2, and no specials. EOS is straight at 25 miles, climbing 3,000 feet over the water. Emergencies, as we've briefed them earlier on in the earlier sector today, and for the pushback, that's where it's gonna get interesting. So let's have a quick look here. We've got the Randy to Victor departure. Would actually be good if I prepared these charts beforehand. But anyway, so here we are. We are parking down here, Delta 16, pushback, most likely facing towards the west. Then Alpha 6, Bravo, and then all the way via Bravo. Charlie Whiskey 5, runway 36 left. So that's going to be quite a long taxi there. Departure, Randy to Victor departure is 10-3 Victor 5, transition altitude 3000. Versus 3001, on of 1 required, remain on tower till 2000, contact Schiphol departure 119.055. Speed max 250, below flight level 100, that's in. And initial climb clearance flight level 60, which is the same that ATC gave us as well. So we can put the 60 in here as well. Okay, for the routing then, we're going to climb on the runway track 002, 001 on the chart. Until Alpha Mike 012, then right turn 028, 4 miles, waypoint 087. We've got the stop altitude in there, then right 084, 5 miles, waypoint 088. Right 143, 11 miles to Pampus, 130, 8 miles to Iflut. 130, 8 miles. No, we've had that. 124, 14 miles to Lunex. Same track, 5 miles to Randy. And thereafter it's going on 1298 miles to Edupo. So that's our sit. Any questions about that?
KLM 1849, you're clear to Vienna. Randy 250
Alright,
departure runway
perfect.
36 left. Initially climb flight level 60, squawk 1000.
Then let's get some air conditioning going. Let's get that cabin cooled down.
KLM 1849,
Okay, so safety inspection checklist and before start checklist down to the line. Services checks checked, maintenance status checked, battery on, electric pumps on, landing gear lever down, ship's library checked, IRS mode selectors, nav, gear pins, 103 removed, probe covers 10345 removed, flight test checked, oxygen test 100%, yaw damper on, nav transfer display switches, normal and auto, fuel 5,533 required, we've got 6,200 on board with 4 pumps on. Cabin utility IV galley power on, emergency exit lights armed, fasten belts on, window heat on, aircon and press, back auto bleeds on set, pressurization mode selector, auto, instruments, cross checked, auto brakes, RTO, hydraulics, normal, speed brake, down tent, park and brake, set, step and cutter switches, normal. Wilbur fire warning, checked, radius radar transponder, standby, rudder and aileron trims, 3 and 0, takeoff briefing, discussed, holding at PA. So, they are still boarding the last 25 passengers, but the refueling is done, so he can go. And then we can hopefully start loading the front hold as well. Aft hold is done, they can go. So that's it, mostly done.
Runway 36 left.
Now it's just waiting for all the ground to get ready, and then we'll hopefully be on the go in a couple of minutes.
Austin 378, please confirm flight level 60.
Flight level 60 for Austrian 378.
Austin 378, lead back correct, report ready at 121.65.
Okay, ground power can go.
121.65 for Austrian 378.
State calling. KLM 1839A. You're clear to Vienna, runway 26 to departure runway 36 left.
Yeah, it is going to be busy in Vienna. I
I
think it was a good idea that we took some extra fuel. So, let's quickly reset this. Our departure is 36 left now. It's runway heading 002-ish. We'll just set the courses to the same.
Delivery of 339er. Gare France 171, stand Echo 3. We have information Alpha request clearance for Zurich, please.
Okay, that's all passengers on board.
All we're
gonna wait for is
evening, you're clear to Zurich, low pick,
the luggage. Let's do our PA already.
Ladies
and gentlemen, a very warm welcome aboard this KLM flight 1849 going to Vienna. My name is Emmanuel, I'm your captain today.
Low pick, 4 picks for departure.
We're expecting a flight time of about an hour and 20 minutes with mostly smooth conditions. Thank you very much for joining us. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight. And the cabin crew is shortly going to start pointing out the safety features of this Boeing 737-700 aircraft. I would like to ask you to pay full attention, as that is not just for your own safety, but also for the safety of the people sitting around you. Thank you very much for joining. Enjoy your flight, and once the last bags are loaded, we're going to make our way, so we'll expect to be pushing within the next 5 minutes. Thank you very much for your attention.
One at a time, please.
F1055, how do you check?
F1055, 505.
Hello, sir, F1055, process by fast to Vienna is 5.
France 055,
right, let's prepare the onboard performance tool already, so that we can get going quickly in a moment.
60, squawk 1000.
So, we're at
Your destination,
we are at Amsterdam, runway 36 left. We're going to take Victor 2 figures, just to be on the safe side. Dry. Wind 100 at 9 is the worst, temperature 24 and 1016.
France 055, believe that correct, report ready on 121.65.
9, we can pre-select that. For the rest we'll have to wait until loading is finished.
Air France 339er.
Air France 339, go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Info Alpha forward stand Delta 51 requesting IFR to destination. We are unable RNAV.
Delivery, good afternoon 068. With you, gate the Delta 10. Don't have information yet. Request IFR to Vienna Shuttle.
Air France 339, you're clear to Bordeaux. Kudos to Victor departure runway 36 left. In Italy, climb flight level 60, squawk 1000.
We are unable that departure since we have no GPS, but flight level 60, runway 36 left and squawk 1000 is cockpit.
Air France 329, I will discuss with tower about departure instructions. Please come by.
339er.
Austrian 068, you're clear to Vienna. Ready to Victor departure runway 36 left. In Italy, climb flight level 60, squawk 1000.
Austin 068, information is Alpha. Get it already. 636 left. Ready to Victor departure 6000 and squawk 1000.
Austrian 068, read that correct. Report ready on 121.650.
121.650 ready.
Information Alpha on board. Request to take clearance.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
KLM 1653, you're clear to...
So they are done over here.
You're clear to Venice. Ready to Victor departure runway 36 left. In Italy, climb flight level 60,
So let's see, for the performance, we have 50.2 versus 50.0, that's good enough, gives me 65.4, sorry, 56.5. So 22K, 61 degrees.
KLM 1653, is that correct? Report ready on 121.650.
121.65, bye-bye.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, request push and start.
To Barcelona, we have the information of
KLM 75 Kilo, you clear to Barcelona. Kudos to Victor departure runway 36
Now we're stuck
left.
here because he didn't tell us the other frequency earlier, so technically speaking we can't contact the other controller yet. Even though this is taking much longer, I'll just call coordinator myself.
Departure runway 36 left, climbing initially 6000 feet, squawk 2110, KLM 75 Kilo.
KLM 75 Kilo, read that correct? Report ready on 121.650.
Report ready 121.650, KLM 75 Kilo. Thanks.
Cable delivery, Austrian 269.
Okay, no, this is too much of a mess. I'll just do it myself.
KLM 1653, hello. It's Alpha QRH 1016. Hold position and contact ground on down 21.8.
Hold position, contact ground 121.8. Thank you.
Schiphol, gate evening, KLM 25 Foxtrot, free crest, push and start.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, center. Expect startup at minute 44, stand by.
Start up at 4-4, KLM 25 Foxtrot. Yeah, that's what I expected. They start building up slots now, and even though we called very first for the clearance, now we are pretty much last in line because, well, because it's turned out into quite a mess on the delivery frequency. So now we're standing here and waiting. And I don't want to know how much longer we'd have to wait if we just didn't switch frequencies on our own. Even though, of course, normally you're not supposed to do this. Okay, well, in the meantime, anyway, let's finish our checklist. So, PA, complete, FMC CDU, set, M1 and IS box, automatic, reduce 22K, speeds 282930 set, step trim, 5.4, set, performance weight and balance, unsent, phones off, EFB, airplane mode stowed, flight windows and cockpit door, locked, doors closed, passengers seated, before start checklist complete down to the line. So now it's about 5 minutes of waiting. Nothing we can do about that. I think I've said it in past streams, but that's what aviation is all about. Waiting. Whether it be waiting for your ATPL class to start, because there are surely going to be some delays. Whether it's waiting for the airlines to contact you after you've applied. Then waiting for the results of your assessment. That's probably the worst part of it. And then of course waiting for your typewriting to start. Waiting for your base training. Waiting for your line training. Waiting for your base assignment. It's all waiting. And then once you think that everything's done, you get a slot 3 hours in the future. So it's waiting again. In the meantime, let's have a quick look from the outside as well. So there's the Air Europa over there. The KLM, those are pretty much the guys we've heard in the beginning. KLM pushed into the wrong direction as far as I can see, so... Oh, no, maybe you can turn over here. Well, I don't think I even want to know. So in case anybody's wondering, we've got the standard Asobo enhanced Amsterdam airport here. And as a destination we'll have the OpX Vienna scenery. So someone's asking in the comments, is the plane really 100% worth the $69? Or wait till it drops to 59. It is not going to drop to 59. Instead, as PMDG has publicly announced, the price is going to rise once the next version is released. So it's 69 now, but it will be 74.99 when the 737-600 is going to be released. So as far as I can say, I would most definitely say, yeah, get it now. And in my opinion, it's absolutely worth the money. Absolutely. Systems are really good. You can use them to study for your type rating, even though you will of course find differences to the airplane of your airline. But they serve very well to learn the basics of the Boeing logic. So, in my opinion, yes, it's an absolutely worth getting the aircraft.
Started at minute 50, so about 7 minutes delay. Please stand by.
And Luke is asking if I can show the integrated approach navigation. We'll see if I can do it. It's probably going to be pretty busy in Vienna, so over there, if ATC is using the in Vienna, if they are using the ILS, I'll probably just not request anything different. But for a future tutorial, I'm most certainly going to create an IAN tutorial.
Contavia 875, hello, expect startup at minute 52.
Airplane Nerd is asking if PMDG is going to create the classic 737. Not as far as I'm aware. I would love to see them. KLM 26 Foxtrot, go ahead.
KLM 26 Foxtrot, by the way, you logged in as KLM 25 Foxtrot. Hold position, contact ground on 121.8. 8 is Alpha, QNH 1016.
8 is Alpha 1016, and you're actually right, it should be 25 Foxtrot, and it's meant to be that. And we'll contact ground on 121.8, holding position. Bye bye.
Bye. Later.
Scupper ground, guten Abend, KLM 25 Foxtrot, Delta 16, request pushback.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, hello, stand by shortly for pushback to the outgoing traffic. We'll call you back in a minute.
And waiting again. But Sunday evening, busy event,
Ground Transavia
totally expected, nothing to complain about.
Transavia 6609 Alpha correct, taxi runway 36 left at Whiskey 5 cross runway 36 center. Okay, 36 left and at Whiskey 5 cross runway 36 center, Transavia 6609. 25 Foxtrot, once clear of Air Europa 737, taxiing out behind you from the left to the right, the startup and pushback are up.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, when clear for Air Europa, startup and pushback approved. Just confirm, are we facing to the west or to the east?
Default direction, towards the west.
Default towards the west, thanks KLM 25 Foxtrot.
Well, ground, good evening, Air France 171, ready for push and start.
Air France 171, startup and pushback approved.
Start and pushback.
I was just a little bit confused with the pushback direction, since the other guys are going left to right behind us, and our pushback would lead us into the opposite direction. That's why I just asked them to confirm it. So while we're waiting, somebody's asking in the comments how to get the VNAV to work and whether you would use VNAV instead of vertical speeds. On how to get it to work, I've done several tutorials on how to fly the 737 properly, so I can very much recommend to have a look at those. And why VNAV is more... Why VNAV is better than vertical speed? Well, because vertical speed is a very limiting mode. KLM 25 Foxtrot, startup and pushback approved. Okay, here we go. Below the line, air compacts off, anti-collision on, parking brake set, transponder route off. Before start checklist complete.
Cockpit to ground. Go ahead. We are cleared for start and push. Parking brake set. Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are released. Austrian 26 Romeo at Bravo 35 with information Alpha ready for pushback and start.
Yeah, we'll start in the sequence.
Romeo, hello, startup and pushback approved.
Startup and pushback approved, Austrian 26 Romeo.
Right, starting engine number 2.
Transavia 6609, can you point me to the right chart to get the preferred taxi route today?
Transavia 6609, it is on basically every chart. Anyway, the default directions will be via taxiway Bravo to go counterclockwise around the field and thereafter via Charlie to Whiskey 5.
Okay, Bravo Charlie Whiskey 5.
And 2, all pressure, and 1.
KLM 6 Echo Mike confirm, clear to cross, 36 center.
KLM 6 Echo Mike affirmative at Whiskey 5, cross 36 center.
Okay, copy. Cross 36 center at Whiskey 5.
John, good day, KLM 93 kilo, ready for push and start.
KLM 93 kilo, startup and pushback approved.
Right, static cutout, monitor 2, isolating a pack,
Ground, good day.
and starting 1.
378, request push and start, stand Bravo 27.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake. Parking brake set.
Copy for Austrian
Ground.
378.
You may disconnect.
And 2, all pressure,
Sir,
and
clear to
1.
disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight. Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
Already talking to him.
Right, would be handy if you also, if I also turned on the fuel instead of just reading comments. Talking about comments, by the way, guys, I'm going to answer more questions once we reach cruise flight, okay? Until then, we'll keep it sterile flight deck and keep following the channel style, which is no, let's call it random chatter in sterile phases of the flight.
KLM 6 Echo Mike, alright.
Air France 171, confirm you are commencing your pushback.
Commencing
Static
pushback,
cutout, monitor 1, 1 stable. Okay, the ground, clear to disconnect, see you. Ooh, I don't want to know what these guys are doing over there. No, I really don't want to know it. So, flight controls. Up, down, neutral, left, right, neutral, rudders, left, right, neutral, before taxi checklist. Generators on, APU off, start switches
Triple
continuous,
ground,
probe
Austin
beat on,
220
anti-ice
today.
off, air conditioning, PAX auto bleeds on,
Austin
isolation
220
off,
Romeo,
auto,
taxi runway 36
flaps,
left,
5,
via
report,
Quebec,
selected
at
green light,
55,
step trim,
cross, runway
5.5, set, start levers, idle tent, flight controls checked, and recall checked before taxi check is complete.
Ground 36 center, on 26 runway.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, request taxi.
KLM 25 Fox, taxi holding point runway 36 left via Quebec at Whiskey 5 cross runway 36 center.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, taxi holding point runway 36 left via Quebec at Whiskey 5 cross 25, correction, 36 center.
Air France 339 request taxi.
Okay,
Air France 339
so let's leave this poor little pushback alone over there.
at Whiskey 5 cross runway 36.
Quick confirmation of the taxi routing before we finally
Taxi
go.
holding point 36 left at Whiskey 5 cross 36 center, Air France
So
339.
Quebec is it the one down here via Alpha? Yeah, it is. Okay, so that's what we're going to do then. So left out onto Alpha, then to Quebec. Config? Checked.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, I've got an unauthorized aircraft pushing back, so for now taxi via Alpha 16 and Bravo.
Alpha 16 and Bravo, KLM 25 Foxtrot. I guess that's the Air France on our right?
Alpha 6 and then Bravo in the opposite direction.
Alpha 6, Bravo opposite direction. I guess it's the Air France we see on our right there, KLM 25 Foxtrot?
Correct.
Hello ground, Alpha 055, also Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha 055, for the next time hold position, you were not clear to push and start. Anyway, for now hold position, report when ready for taxi.
So is there position Alpha and ready for taxi?
Air France 055, confirm you are ready for taxi.
Okay, let's hope that he's not going to
Ready to taxi.
put him in
Air
front
France
of us now.
055, taxi to holding point, runway 36 left via Quebec at Whiskey 5 cross runway 36 left.
Taxi to 36 left via Quebec, Whiskey 5 from the crossing line 36 south from the 5.
KLM 9 kilo ready for taxi.
First KLM 25 Foxtrot at Alpha 3, switch back to Alpha.
At Alpha 3 back to Alpha. Confirm we're number 1 before the Air France, KLM 25 Foxtrot.
Confirm they're not yet.
Thanks. Okay,
KLM
that's
9
Alpha
kilo,
3 over
taxi runway
here.
36 left via Quebec at Whiskey 5 cross runway 36.
Quebec and at 55, 36 center, KLM 9 kilo.
Transavia 6609er, contact tower 119er decimal 225, bye bye.
So just pushing without waiting for the clearance is of course also a way to get around the slots.
Transavia 875, hello, start up and pushback approved.
So then we'll follow the Austrian in front there. What is that KLM doing over there? Is he supposed to be coming out of
KLM
there?
9 kilo, join Alpha via Inter Company 737 coming from the left to right.
Ah, that's behind us. Very good. So is he gonna answer or not?
KLM 9 kilo, join Alpha via Inter Company from left to right.
Come on.
For delivery,
That's incredible. Second time now.
Lufthansa 1 to Echo, hello, startup and pushback approved.
Startup and pushback approved.
LL 212, I did not clear you to push and start yet. Anyway, startup and pushback approved. QNH 1016.
Wow, and the second guy. Sorry, the third guy. Started the pushback. What's going on today?
Ground, Austrian 378, request taxi to the runway 36 left.
Austrian 378, taxi runway 36 left via Quebec at Whiskey 5, cross runway 36.
So let's hope that this guy at least taxis has a decent
Quebec,
speed so that we
Whiskey
eventually
5,
get to that
cross
runway.
36 center for Austrian 378.
In the meantime, let's do the before takeoff checks to the line. Config, check, flaps, 5, green light, step gen, 5.5, set.
Delta 28 via Alpha 8.
Takeoff briefing, so this is going to be left to takeoff from 36 left, flaps 5, NADP2, contact departure at 2000. And we are going to proceed on the SID straight ahead, right turn, climbing level 60, EO SID straight ahead, climbing 25 miles to 3,000 feet.
KLM 1849 gate Delta 47 information Alpha, right for push and start.
KLM 1849, hello, startup and pushback.
Push start approved KLM 1849, thank you.
Oh, very good rendition of the bridges, Asobo. Excellent.
212, taxi holding point, runway 36 left, via...
So, do we trust this guy to go the right way, or do we check the chart?
Runway 36.
No. We'll trust him for now. Let's see where this is going. Let's just hope that he's going to accelerate to a decent speed now.
Taxi via Pushback and Whiskey 5 to runway 36 left. Holster.
LL 212 at Whiskey 5, cross runway 36. Air France 339er at Alpha 21, give way to the second KLM 737 coming from left to left.
So, the next guy who's supposed to give way to us? Let's see what's gonna happen this time.
Give way to the second KLM coming left to right, Air France 339er.
KLM 25 Foxtrot at Alpha 21, you are number 1, Air France on the right will give way to.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, let's just hope that that's actually gonna happen this time.
Yeah, if they listen, this one listened at least.
Yeah, that's something, he's answering.
Transavia 875.
Even though I can't even see the Air France yet.
Via Bravo North at Whiskey 5, cross runway 36.
Taxi to holding my time, via Bravo North, after Whiskey 5, cross runway 3.
So I have to say though that the guy in front there is actually going at a good speed. I mean, 30 knots is what you're supposed to do on a straight taxiway, and he's going roughly that. I mean, I've seen people on VATSIM doing like 10 knots, so that's not too bad at all.
Taxi 36 left at Whiskey 5, cross runway.
Well, let's see, Whiskey 5 should be the next to the left if I'm not mistaken.
26 Romeo, contact tower, 119.225.
Let's quickly confirm that.
119.225, Austrian 26 Romeo, final meter.
Yeah, it is. And he went past it.
Taxi runway 36 left at Whiskey 5, cross runway 36.
Just to confirm, this is really Whiskey 5, is it? Yeah, Charlie 3 leading into Whiskey 5. So we're on the correct way.
You're still holding?
81 for my Charlie, requesting taxi stand please, vacated Sierra 4.
Yeah, EC1 Romeo Charlie, taxi Delta 28, return right on Bravo, then via Alpha 8 to Delta 28.
So at least we can overtake him.
Even though
it was probably not planned like this by ATC. But sometimes you've just got to use your chances.
Anyway, new stand, Hotel 1 via Bravo.
Also 1 by Bravo, 1 fair.
Okay, confirm clear across 36 center.
75 kilo, ready south. Push and start. Ground altitude 374 Alpha.
So, and this time there is nobody coming left or right.
Start and push approved. Kellam 75 kilo.
That's something, you know, we're making progress. Sure, slowly but steadily.
Pushback approved, altitude south Alpha.
Kellam 93 kilo, you took a wrong turn. You missed the turn for Whiskey 5. At Charlie 1, make a right, then right again on Charlie towards Whiskey 5.
Roger, right and right again, sorry, 96 kilo.
Kellam 25 Foxtrot, contact tower 119.225.
119.225, KLM 25 Foxtrot. At least we're in the original sequence again.
Certainly.
Ground 865, taking November with proficient start.
November 865, taking
So,
November
119.225.
Lufthansa 8320, taxiing behind you, left to right, start of pushback approved.
Once crossing aircraft is command pushing start.
Takeoff runway 36 left, KLM 1653. Alright.
Robert 379 behind departing KLM, line up away, runway 36 left behind.
Behind departing traffic, line up and wait. 36 left, taxi switch.
Skipper Tag, guten Abend, KLM 25 Foxtrot, ready.
25 Foxtrot, goedenavond, taxi 100.6, Victor 4.
Victor 4, KLM 25 Foxtrot. So, let's quickly see where that is. Full length, okay, so we're going all the way straight, and then to the end.
Continue approach, number 2, wind 060 degrees, 9.
And who's riding something here in V-Pilot? KLM 24 Charlie, oh, hello. Yeah, thank you very much. Ooh, what's this? That looks interesting. Let's hope that the sim is not going to act up when we're going through this. Well, no further comment.
Tower, good evening, Air France 339er, Whiskey 5.
And from 339er, good evening, taxi holding point Victor 3.
Holding point Victor 3.
Didn't that Air Europe get lineup clearance yet? He doesn't not look like he's on the runway. Maybe it is. Maybe he is, hopefully.
D79er wind 060 degrees, 8 knots, this is left, clear for takeoff, bye bye.
Clear for takeoff for runway 36 left, by 50.
Austin 26 Romeo behind the departing 77, line up away, runway 36 left behind.
Behind the departing 737, line up away behind the 36 left. I'll train 26 Romeo.
Together 100, taxiway 03.
700 contact ground from 1 decimal 8. And that's Stefan van Lima. Sorry about that, turn right heading 180, climb maintain 2000 feet.
Climb maintain 2000 feet,
One to Echo.
That's a 1 to Echo, good evening, taxi holding point Victor 3.
So, no hold short line anywhere here. Let's just finish the turn and hold at the next best position.
That's a 1 to Echo, taxi holding point Victor 3, runway 36 left.
Victor.
MSFS Alpha Lima, that is approved. Right heading 180, maintain 3000 feet.
Tower Airphone 055, back to Victor for
From 055, correct. MSFS Alpha Lima, contact the rifle 118.432.
Let's quickly recheck for the departure frequency on the ATIS. Okay, no departure frequency on here. They didn't tell us any either. And the one from the chart is not online. Well, then we'll have to ask. KLM 25 Foxtrot, can you confirm the expected departure frequency?
0 degrees, 8 knots, bye-bye.
Hello.
Austin 26 Romeo, runway 36 left, clear for takeoff, wind 060 degrees, 8 knots.
Clear for takeoff 36 left, Austrian 26 Romeo, steer.
Okay.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, can you confirm the expected departure frequency?
KLM 25 Foxtrot, it's auto handles to departure, 121.2.
121.2, thanks. Yeah, the departure frequency was not in the ATIS and is not the same as on the chart, that's why I was asking.
Ah, yes, this is the west frequency.
Thanks.
Runway 379, to be sure, contact departure 121.2. KLM 25 Foxtrot, line up away, runway 36 left, there will be one intersection departure info.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, wait 36 left. Cabin crew, please take your seats for departure. Before takeoff, checklist below. MCP, set, transponder, TARA, strobe lights on, holding there. So, one intersection departure ahead, he said, but I don't see him yet.
Oh, good day, KLM 93 kilo behind
The 93 kilo to evening text to holding point Victor 4.
Victor 4 for KLM 90 kilo, this is confirmed.
Affirm. Advance 339er, after departure, turn right heading 120, climb maintain flight level 60.
After departure, right turn heading 120 and climb maintain level 60, airplane 339er.
Advance 339er, correct, runway 36 left, Victor 3, clear for takeoff, wind is 060 degrees, 8 knots.
And 37 cleared for takeoff, airplane 339er.
People Tower, good evening,
So, is that the Air France? Maybe.
Advance 171, bonjour, taxi holding point Victor 3.
Sorry again, Air France 71.
Advance 171, taxi to holding point Victor 3.
Taxi holding point Victor 3, Air France 71.
Bravo, Air France 055.
Advance 055.
Yes, and taxi holding point Victor 4 is correct. Air France 055.
Advance 055, correct, holding point Victor 4.
So, looks like there is our KLM again.
Rocky 875, good evening, taxi
4 aircraft further
4.
behind. Well, that's why you are supposed to read your charts. Or listen to ATC. Just saying.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, runway 36 left, clear for takeoff, wind 060 degrees, 8 knots, bye bye.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, 36 left, clear takeoff, bye. Landing lights on before takeoff checklist
Echo behind
complete.
me, departing KLM 77 from the beginning. Line of away, runway 36 left, Victor.
Stabilized. Set takeoff thrust.
Line up behind. Lufthansa 1 to Echo.
Takeoff thrust set indications normal.
80 knots.
Tower,
Austrian 378, taxi on Victor.
Yeah, why did auto throttle just pop off?
378, good evening, taxi holding point Victor 4.
V1 take.
Holding point Victor 4 for Austrian 378.
From 055, runway 36 left, line up and wait, 1 intersection departure info.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
From 339, contact departure, 121, decimal 2.
Down F.
1212 airplane 339, have a good night.
Good night. Delta 1 to Echo 36 left, clear for takeoff, basis 06 to 0 degrees, 8 knots, bye bye.
Come on, Dave. Fuck up. Flaps 1. Speed check, flap 1. Skipper departure, Guten Abend, KLM 25 Foxtrot, 1900, climbing level 60.
KLM 25 Foxtrot identified, climb flight level 130.
Climb flight level 130, KLM 25 Foxtrot.
Departure, good evening, airplane 339er, just about pit
Set.
6, level 60.
130 checked. Flaps up.
From 59er identified, near right heading 200, climb flight level 130.
Right, 200 and level 120, Air France 339er.
Confirm cleared level please, 130.
130, apologies.
Flaps up, no lights. ENAF, set standard. Passing 31, climb 130. After takeoff checklist.
Air France 339er, resume
I'll
go
release the
navigation
cabin tray as well. So, air conditioning and pressurization 1.8. Set. Altimeters. Standard passing 39, climb 130. After takeoff checklist complete. Oh, I can't really see that much of the city, unfortunately.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, direct Pampus, Papa Alpha Mike.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, direct Pampas. Execute. LNAV available. LNAV.
Air France 055, hello, climb flight level 130.
Approach, Lufthansa 1 to Echo, climb flight level 60, inbound Alpha Mike 094.
Lufthansa 1 to Echo, identified, climb flight level 130.
Climb flight level 130, Lufthansa 1 to Echo.
Air France 339er, Amsterdam radar 125, 750, bye-bye.
12575, Air France 339, have a good night.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, Q as well, contact Amsterdam 125.750.
125.750, KLM 25 Foxtrot, bye.
Niner passing level 115.
Air France 339, hello, climb for level 260.
Level 260, Air France 339er.
Amsterdam, Guten Abend, KLM 25 Foxtrot, level 109, climbing 130, inbound Pampas.
25 Foxtrot, good evening, climb for level 250.
Climb flight level 250, KLM 25 Foxtrot. Set.
Europa
250
379,
checked.
climb to
VNAV.
level, crash traffic level
We're
350.
passing 114, climbing 250, 10 checks. We'll also go full climb first.
Europa 379, climb to level
Fuel
350.
is balanced, 4 pumps on, the lights off, APU off, air cannon press, 4.7, climbing, set, fast melts, auto, recall, checked, 1 to 1.5, monitoring, 10 checks complete. We've just received a message from the arrival here. I'm smiling, where's the camera? I've put that in my controller, in my flight plan remarks. Smile, you're on camera. So let's show him then, huh?
Wolf Alpha, descent for level 70, off the river, direct Nelva.
Off the river, direct to Nelva for Golf Pro Amsterdam.
Europe 379 and no further is available, Unicorn 1 to decimal 8, bye bye.
122 decimal 8, bye bye, Europe 379.
Austrian 26 Romeo, climb to level 370, Unicorn 1 to decimal 8, bye bye.
For level 370 and over to Unicom 228, Austrian 26 Romeo, see you.
Ding dong.
Plaza 1 to Echo, hello, climb to level 240.
Time to 240, stand over 1.
Boxer 1600 London control 133 decimal 7, bye bye. F1 055, hello, climb to level 250. Boxer 1600 London control 133 decimal 7, bye bye. Boxer 1600 London control 123 decimal 7, bye bye.
Forward London control, Boxer 167, good day.
Yeah, read back to 53, 133 decimal 7.
133 decimal 7, Boxer.
Super Foxtrot, climb to level 370, no further is available, Unicorn 1 to decimal 8, bye bye.
KLM 2 for Foxtrot, climb 370 and 1 to 2 decimal 8. That's a pity. Bye bye. Okay, set, 370 checked, once, twice, and 3 times, monitoring 1 to 1.5. So they did not get full ATC coverage for the event. That's a pity. I would have hoped for a little bit, well, I don't know, Sunday evening, I would have hoped for full coverage. Well, what can we do? So, angle of bank 10. Let's actually see if there is any ATC online in the vicinity, whom we could give a call ahead. So Bremen Bay is not responsible for us. There is no Langen sector at all at the moment. So that's pretty much half of our crews. Yeah. Let's just go back to Amsterdam. I can see in the comments that some of you really like having the ATC as a background, so that's what we're going to do. Just keep monitoring them.
Conductor Lima, hello, cleared land for 12, arrive for runway 06, descent for 190. Taylor 5 for Mike speed, 310 knots greater.
Was it 310, Taylor 5 for Mike?
Nee, sir, 310 knots greater.
0, greater, 5 for Mike.
Amsterdam radar, Austrian 378, past 10,000.
Austrian 378, hello, climb to level 250.
Climb 250 for Austrian 378.
Taylor 45 Mike November, descent to level 60, level Maasels.
Descend level 60, level by Maysos, KLM 459 Mike.
Dan staat je 875, climb to level 350, Montchin command, 2.8 per wine.
350 and 3.8 for 8
KLM 596, expedition set.
Expedition, KLM 159.
First runway 2917, direct Echo Echo Lima. Runway 2917, direct Echo Echo Lima. Condor Lima Echo, clears north to Alpha, arrive for runway 06.
Clears north to Alpha, 06,
Ryan 2917.
Runway 2917, proceed direct Echo Echo Lima.
Proceed direct Echo Echo Lima, Ryan 2917.
Taylor 5 for Mike, descent to level 70, off the Subol, direct Sierra Papa Lima.
Papa Lima and descent 570.
Runway 2917, stop climb to level 290, descent to level 290 now.
Roger 290, Ryan 2917.
Air France 171, climb to level 350, Montchin command, 2.8 per wine.
Flying Farewell 350, monitor when you come, Air France 7 by, thanks.
Amsterdam radar, hello, this is with Port Alpha, we view flight level 380 inbound Amsterdam.
This is 42 Alpha, hello, direct Nocto, expect level 280 by Nocto, report 30%.
Can you repeat with your Port Alpha transmission?
This is 42 Alpha, direct Nogro, expect
Want to go monitoring Vienna.
by Nogro, report 30%.
Direct Nogra, expect flight level 280 at point Nogra, the Port Alpha, please confirm.
KLM 596, correction, KLM 596, conduct triple approach to Amsterdam, decimal 2, bye bye.
Triple 121.2, KLM 596, bye bye.
Amsterdam radar, good day, Patron 36 to Quebec at 11,000 feet, inbound Papa Alpha Mike.
Rome 362, Quebec, hello, camp, push maintain level 130.
Maintain 130, Patron 36 to Quebec.
November 865, Tango November on this.
Flight level 130.
November 865, Tango November, climb to level 250.
250, 865.
So here we are, 370.
Flight level 250, Tram 36 Quebec.
Amsterdam radar,
Concept.
area 1 Golf, flight level 260.
The borders for this flight are going to be Bazu and Dexit. Very creative waypoint name, I have to say.
Flight
Dexit.
level 1850. Effect.
Alright. Destination QNH 1018. We can pre-select that. Let's have a quick look into our operational flight plan as well. Passing Misgo should be 15 minutes in flight. We're at 17, but we've had a different departure, so that makes sense. 4.1 planned, 4.5 on board. 1,474 should be used. 1,670 is used, but that's kind of expected. Alright, so put down some of your questions, I'm going to answer them momentarily, and I'll be right back for you.
Direct river. Continue my echo, descent level 150, proceed to Arctic.
Descending 150 and direct. Again.
Direct Arctic.
Direct after your
In a 5 for Mike speed 250 knots, contact trip approach 1 decimal 2 by white.
B250, approach 1 decimal 2
In a mine 3 kilo, contact London
control,
control 1
good
decimal 1.
evening, Laltu 1 with you, climb 130.
Hello 212, hello, climb level 250.
250. Laltu.
Austrian 378, climb level 350, Mont Uniform 1 2 decimal 8 by white. Austrian 378, climb level 350, Mont Uniform 1 2 decimal 8 by white.
Alright, so let's see what you came up with today. I'll scroll up, start at the very beginning, and then I'll go down eventually. So, right at the beginning, airplane notes said usually the tower wouldn't keep track of planes that have contacted them. That was in the situation where we asked delivery for our clearance, he told us to stand by and then didn't come back to us. Well, he may have come back to us at a later point, but I didn't want our slot to become too late. So, no, you're right. Normally tower wouldn't keep track, well, at least not in terms that he's gonna know them all by heart, but if we are taking this into real world, then of course tower would know all airplanes that are in contact with him. But the important point here is if they say stand by, the meaning of stand by is I'm going to come back to you. And he apparently was not going to do that, because there were just too many new aircraft calling in, overwhelming him. So that's why I decided that I would be contacting them once again to ask for clearance again. Then later on somebody asked which mods I'm using. Honestly, too many to be true, but the most important ones that I'm using for this flight are all listed in the remarks of most of my videos. Then Dennis is saying his master caution goes off temporarily just after rotation. Why is that? To be fair, I would not exactly know what that may be. You would have to catch the text of the master caution to see what it says exactly. Mini S is asking, am I flying on VATSIM or IVEO? I'm flying on VATSIM. And just in case somebody wants to start a debate between what's better, VATSIM or IVEO, then in my opinion both are good networks. My personal reason to fly on VATSIM is because of the audio codec and because it just adds this slight radio-like-ish feel to your voice. Jester is saying I should do a trip to Iceland one day. I probably will. So Lubick is asking, have I ever gotten lost at an airport while taxiing? No, not yet.
Kilometer 8, Foxtrot, Helen 12, arrive for runway 06, descent to level 160.
Gallego is asking, can I explain the differences between Cat 1, 2 and 3 and how exactly they work and what they do? So I guess you're referring to Cat 1 to 3 for the ILS approaches. Cat 1 basically is an approach down to 550 meters RVR and 200 feet radio altitude. And that is the category that can be flown by pretty much any airplane equipped with an ILS approach. When we're going further into category 2 and 3 approaches, then we're talking about automatic landings or decision heights that are closer to 0. So a Cat 2 approach needs about 100 feet for the minimums and 300 meters RVR, while a Cat 3 approach is divided into several sub-parts again. Cat 3A, the one that the 737 can fly, goes down to 50 feet radio and 200 meters of RVR. The difference in terms of the airplane is that if you have a Cat 2 or 3 approach, then you probably will be doing an auto land, while with a Cat 1 approach you don't have the systems, or rather the airport doesn't have the systems approach to verify that the localizer and glide slope are going to be correct 100% of the time. So the airplane is able to do an auto land out of a Cat 1 approach. However, it is not guaranteed that there might not be any influences on the localizer or glide slope signal that may make the autopilot act up. Whereas on a Cat 2 and 3 approach, that is well, whether it's on a Cat 2 and 3 approach, there are systems in place to prevent that from happening.
Heading 100. Question to left heading 100.
So Gallagher is asking again, can I explain QNH and what it exactly means? First of all, the term QNH is coming from the so-called Q groups that were used like 100 years ago in Morse codes. And the code QNH was back then used for the altimeter setting with reference to mean sea level. There are other altimeter settings like the QNE, QFE, etc., but those are not really used anymore nowadays. So what it means, QNH basically means that on this altimeter reference, your altimeter is going to show you the elevation of an airport when you're at the airport. Mike is asking, what was the excess data warning that was on the navigation display just now and has disappeared? That turns up when there is too much data on the ND, so that it's no longer able to show all of it, and the computer is then reducing the amount of data shown, despite the fact that there would be more data to show. So this mainly happens when I'm going out at excessive ranges, like here, and now the computer senses that it's not able to show me all the airports properly here, let alone those that are further out. And the excess data basically tells me exactly that. That there would be more data to show, but that it cannot show it because the display is too cluttered. So Kik is asking, why do I not get information like VOR distance, heading pointer line and predicted point of your level of altitude when climbing or descending? Only the co-pilot site does. Just to be sure, Kik, you're actually in the map mode and not in the plan mode or VOR or approach modes, are you? So you're in the map mode. In map mode they should show at all times, as long as the IRS is aligned. So, assuming that your IRS is aligned, which I would guess when you are flying, and it's still not working, then I would recommend to either write a topic in the PMDG forums or to contact the PMDG ticket support. And someone else is asking how I can change the MCP. Yeah, exactly as I replied to by Ryan in the comments. It can be changed in the PMDG options. And have a look at the introduction manual of the PMDG for some guidance as to the options available. Next question by MSFS 2020. How do I know what transition altitude to use? I'm going to show you that on the chart. I'm flying using Jefferson charts here, but any chart by any provider is going to include it. The Jefferson chart always have this box over here on the SID charts, and the transition altitude is read in there. Is written in there. So it's simply looking it up in the chart and inserting it. Philip is asking, why does the gear handle have an off position instead of just up and down? That's a relic of the original time when the 737 was constructed. Back then there was no thing like a computer that could determine the exact moments to remove the hydraulic pressure from the hydraulic lines. So what Boeing did is to implement the off position, so that by the time you put the gear lever into the off position, the hydraulic pressure is being removed from the landing gears. In newer aircraft like the 737 MAX, that lever is actually a two-position lever now, like it is, for example, in the 747-8 or in the 777. So Expertise is asking, what are my graphic settings? I'm going to post screenshots of those in the community tab of my channel. I know I said that yesterday already, and I apologize for not doing it yet. But it's going to come either today or tomorrow, I promise. So Bob is asking, when crossing a live runway, do you put on strobes and landing lights during the crossing? The strobes for sure, the landing lights, technically we don't have to, but it can still be considered good practice depending on the situation. Basically, if you have an airport where the runways are crossing each other, you're crossing the crossing runway, if you can follow me here. So you have an airport with a runway like this and a runway like this, and you are taxiing to this runway, and you're taxiing along the runway and then crossing the crossing runway there. If you then turn on the landing lights, you might be blinding pilots who are landing on that runway, so then it might not be a good idea to put them on. But generally the strobe light has to be turned on, and the landing lights, I would leave that to pilot's discretion, but I probably wouldn't turn them on because it's not exactly needed. So Philip is asking, I apologize if this question has already been asked. No need to apologize at all. Quite some questions are repeating, and I'm thinking about discovering some formats how to answer the most asked questions, but that's for the future. So during an RNAV approach, should approach ramp be used like for the ILS with final approach course and glide path? That depends. In my airline we don't even have the integrated approach navigation. That's the mode you get into when pressing the approach button in this situation. So no, you don't need to use it. The advantage of using it is that it will basically make deviation scales show like you have it on the ILS approach, so you can use the exact same standard operating procedure like in an ILS. But using LNAV and VNAV for the non-precision approach has other advantages, and for those I can recommend you to have a look at the RNAV approach tutorial that I uploaded here. So, next question. Do you know why the FPS decreased dramatically when there is a lot of stutters on approach and landing in the 737? To be honest, I don't see this phenomenon on my computer. It might be because of the airports you're flying to. Maybe you are just going into some big airports that are just heavier on your system. Or it might be because of a lot of traffic if you're flying online. So, next question. Michael is saying, I'm replicating my flight from Amsterdam to Vienna now, but the master caution fuel keeps coming on. Indicated fuel shows 7,600 kilograms, which is more than yours is showing. Do you know what it could be? Yeah, most likely you have the center tank pumps turned on. So if I would turn those on, give it a short while. It's going to take the master caution system a small while to notice that there is a warning up. That's totally normal. Here we are, master caution fuel. So I guess the center tank pumps is the most likely reason why you are getting this. In general, whenever there's a master caution illuminated, just look all over your flight deck, and you are going, and there will be an amber light associated with it. So the master caution is just telling you, hey, there's a caution light on somewhere outside your primary field of vision, so look there and search for that caution light, and then follow the appropriate checklist. So Lou is saying he cannot retract the landing gear, and when he wants to activate the autopilot, an alarm shows all the time. So, if you cannot retract the landing gear, the most likely reason for it is that the alternate gear extension door is open. That's the one down here, this one. And if that is open, then the landing gear mechanism is bypassed, and the landing gear lever is not going to be able to retract your landing gear. And if you're unable to activate the autopilot, then most likely I would say you are either applying forces on the control column, or you are maybe manually trimming the airplane, or it's just not centered on the flight director, or the stabilizer trim cutout switches are in the cutout position. I would say those, or of course the autopilot disengage bar is down. That could also be the case. Those would be the first things that I would look for. So Michael is asking, well, first of all, Airplane Nerd is asking, which airline do I fly for? I'm really sorry that I cannot tell, but my airline is not very social media friendly, and since I'm not a spokesperson of my airline, I unfortunately cannot say which airline I'm working for. Sorry. But it's a European 737 operator. Well, Michael is asking, what is the N1 button used for? To be honest, it is not used a very lot. Not to say that it's basically never used. The main use case I can think of right now is that when you're in manual flight and you have the auto throttle armed, then you could use the N1 mode to make the auto thrust set whichever target N1 or whichever limiting N1 is selected. But to be honest, I don't remember that I ever touched it. So Philippe is saying, dear aviator friends, don't forget that a little coffee seems to me to be well deserved to keep our quality trainer awake. Well, Philippe, thank you very much for that. To explain that one to everybody, I've got a link set up in the description of every video to buymeacoffee.com, and if you want to support my channel, that's where you can do it. That's where you can make a small donation. I can promise that all the money is going right back into the channel, for example for buying new add-ons or buying some new hardware. So if you really like my videos and you want to support me, then I'm very grateful if you do. But of course I'm not going to force anyone into anything, so if you just want to watch, that's perfectly fine as well. So, Lou is asking one more question. Do you know how to set up the trim exactly? For example, 6.3. How can I know I'm at 6.3 exactly? The answer is you cannot really know it. So, the 737's trim reel is just, or the trim scale mod rather, is just not very precise. If you gotta set 6.3, just set it something between 6 and 6.5. And that's all you can do. But if it's exactly 6.3 or if it's 6.2, that doesn't really matter altogether anyway. You have to keep in mind the load sheet itself on which all those trim figures are based. The load sheet itself is based on standard weights of 76 kilos per passenger and 13 kilos per bag, but the truth of course is that every passenger has a different weight and every bag has a different weight. So in the end the trim figures you get are ballpark figures, and the first moment where you can notice that the trim is actually off a little bit is during the rotation of the airplane. When you pull the yoke and either the nose is not coming up at all or it's going to come up very quickly, and then you just have to adapt. But that's just how it is flying the 737. Something the pilot has to keep in mind. So Gallagher is asking, I should do a flight from Norway to Svalbard. Maybe someday. Svalbard certainly is an interesting destination, and there are some more like Alta or Tromsø or Bodø in Norway. So yeah, I might think about that. And Philippe, no need to apologize for being French and not necessarily speaking English very well at all. So Mazoto is asking, can I damage the autopilot by yanking the yoke hard while they are engaged in the 737? No, you cannot damage it. There is an automatic autopilot disengagement function when you apply force on the control column, but except for the autopilot disengaging, nothing is going to happen when you move the control column. So Mike is asking, he's sure it's probably in my tutorial videos somewhere, but while I'm at answering questions, what is the CO button below the ES Mac window? So, you mean this button over here, and I'm going to show you real quick. Right now it's in VNAV, so we first need to open up the speed window. We'll press speed into vent. And now, since we're currently flying on a Mach mode, it's indicating Mach 0.78. If I'm pressing the CO button now, it's going to change over to indicated airspeed. And the same if I press it a second time, it's going to change from indicated airspeed to Mach. So that's all that this button is doing. It's changing the command window of the speed between indicated airspeed and the Mach number. So, speed and event again. Let's close this up, so now the FMC is in control. And we'll set the most economical speed again. So, Galaboy is asking, what do I think when the landing is going to be in Vienna? Well, let's have a look what the FMC is saying. 1848 Zulu, so depending on where you are, this is UTC. It's currently set to the real time, so 1848 UTC. Keep in mind there might be some shortcuts or there might be some delays depending on air traffic control, but around that time. I tend to say if you want to go and have dinner or something, then if you're back by 1835 UTC, then you're probably not going to miss anything. Now tell me, why am I just telling my viewers to go somewhere else? That's pretty dumb, isn't it? So someone's asking if we still use the Navtec Nav Blue charts. He's probably still referring to my airline that I work for in real life, and yes, we do. Airplane Nerd's asking, how come the Toga button is invisible? It actually isn't invisible, but the click spot you see on the MCP that I'm always using is just a click spot. The actual button is on the thrust levers down here. So if we are zooming in, this button here is the Toga button. But since that is so well hidden from your view, and it's very hard to change the views down here and click it in case you need it, that's why PMDG added hidden click spots to the MCP, both on the captain's and first officer's side. So over here and over here. Bob is asking if I've got any insight as to what PMDG are working on for the next update. Not yet, but there has just been an update posted in PMDG's forum today, so if you go and read that, then you'll be up to date as to what's planned for the next update. But right now I don't have any insights that are not publicly available.
Scandinavian 459, which was climbing flight level 390. 459. I got about 75 2 meters navigation for the day. Directly better. About 6 miles, I think it's 12. Point toward that 12, 6 miles.
So the next question over there, what is the correct eye body position in the 737? Are there any pointers for achieving it? For the correct position, you want to be able to see the auto brake disengage light. The control column should not be obstructing the primary flight display, like it is right now. So something like this would be quite a bit better. And you should be able to see the top of the glare shield just a tiny bit. So if we start working on this, let's see if we can get the correct view position here. So what I'm personally also doing, I'm using the armrest here, and that should round about align with the front of the after electronics panel. So like this. So now we've got the auto brake light. We are seeing pretty much all of the PFD, but we just have to go a tiny bit higher. So like this, but now the auto brake light is hidden again, so let's go a little bit further back. Yeah, that's not 100%, but I think that's the closest I can get it to right now. I'll just keep it like this for the flight simulation purpose. I mean, in cruise flight you wouldn't sit correctly anyway. You'd put the seat all the way to the back. So more something like this maybe in cruise. So next question for nose high UPRT. Are you taught to roll into a nose down attitude? Do you have to idle thrust as well? Rolling the airplane is optional in my company, so you can do it, but you don't have to. Personally, if the nose is coming down just fine without the roll, then I'm happy to do it without. But if the nose is not really coming down, then I would most certainly add some bank angle as well. So Michelle is asking, when I fly the Citation 4, I can request a META through the FMC. Is this something that can be done on the 737 as well, and is it done in real world or is it exclusively ATIS information? The real 737 of course has the capability, but for example my operator doesn't use it, so we don't use ACAS at all, so we can't request it. The PMDG 737 does not have the possibility to do it yet, because of the way that it is programmed using C++ programming language and the WASM model, hope I pronounced that correctly, and Asobo does currently not allow add-ons programmed that way to access the outside world, so to pull data from the internet. So right now in the PMDG it's not possible, and the reason you can do it in the CJ4 or for example also in the fly-by-wire aircraft is because they are programmed in JavaScript, and that actually allows things that you cannot do in C++ yet. So SK is asking, how do you get involved in test flying for PMDG? Or how did I get involved with it? Well, it started when the PMDG 737 NGXU for P3D came out, and in the beginning it, let's say, had some potential, for some more bug fixing. And since back then I was just about flying the 737 for a year and a half-ish, I was pretty keen on getting it for the simulator, and then a little disappointed initially. So then I started posting bug reports, and I posted many of them. Many of them. And at some point, PMDG just went, hey, this guy seems to be good. And they contacted me and asked me if I wanted to join their technical team. So that's how it happened. Alright, so let's keep it at this for now. We are already like 50 and a bit miles from our top of descent. So let's just start getting into some approach preparation for now.
Amsterdam radar, KLM 1040 heavy, descending to flight level 280, without RD.
So arrival runway 11, departure runway 16. Okay, so we've got to change this. ILS 11, Vienna 2 whiskey, and that's going to be Nadu 4 kilo. So Dexter to Vienna, that'll remain. Let's have a quick look here at what the routing's going to look like now. Okay. So Mazur is below level 170, that's pretty good. And then let's actually take the Whiskey 651, put that beyond Nadu, see where this is going. Then we have Nadu at level 100. So Nadu 100 or less. Put that in. Forecast page, we'll just request this. QNH 1018, that's in. Transition level is 110, so I guessed right. Okay. And the fixed wings around runway 11. KVK conditions 10-4. And of course 3 times the cruise altitude. So, ILS 11, that's what we're looking for. Alright, so let's do a quick approach briefing then. Or at least, let's first of all get all the correct charts ready, and then we can do it. So, we've got the Vienna 2 whiskey. Where is that? Oh, and Vienna wants to talk to us. 18725.
Alpha request taxi.
Also 9 Kilo Alpha taxi holding point 10 left, report ready.
Remand 10 left, Scotty radio, and clear.
In radar, guten Abend, KLM 25 Foxtrot level 370 inbound exit.
Servus KLM 25 Foxtrot, Wien radar contact, Vienna 2 Whiskey arrival direct Mazur.
Vienna 2 Whiskey arrival direct Mazur, KLM 25 Foxtrot. Okay, Vienna 2 Whiskey is what we have, and direct Mazur.
Vienna Foxtrot Hotel, Wind 110 Grad, Text Knoten Piste 10 links, Landung.
Execute. LNAV available. LNAV. So we have this chart, and then we just need the Nerdu transition.
For Echo X-ray, Servus radar contact.
Was Nerdu for kilo. Yeah. Okay, so threats for the arrival. Again, taxi isn't quite that easy in Vienna. You see, this is getting a system, isn't it? Like, I'm really saying that for many flights, and that's just because taxi really is one of the most critical phases of flight, especially single pilot, because you just want to go the right way, and we've seen in Amsterdam on their outbound what's going to happen if you don't. Alright, so and the other threat is a possibility for a high energy approach because of the S-turn arrival here. But we have mitigated for that by calculating what happens if we're going to fly from Nerdu straight to the final approach fix here, and we've put the altitude restriction in at Nerdu. So that should cover us against the high energy approach. Apart from that, speed to 50 below 100, forecast page is filled in, the rings around the runway 11 are 10 and 4. And for the arrival we are already going towards Mazur, and that is on the chart over here. Mazur between 6000 at level 170, thereafter Temta above 6000, and then to Nerdu above 6000. We've changed that into 100 or less. That leads us to the Nerdu for kilo arrival, Nerdu to Whiskey Whiskey 666 above 5000, 664 above 5000, 658 above 5000, 656 above 5000, 654 above 5000, 653 above 5000, 656 above 5000 and 651 above 5000.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, descent level 310.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, descent level 310. Set, 310 checked, alternative end. Okay, from there we join the ILS approach runway 11, chart 11, dish 1 effective 27th of January. Frequency is 110.3, active both sides, tracks 111, and decision altitude 775, that's in, MSA 36 in the north, 47 in the south. So, final approach fix is the Fox 11, that's over here, 5,000 feet, 3.1 degree glide slope, giving us expected ground speed in the final of about 800 feet a minute. So, for the missed approach then, climb straight ahead to 10 Yumi Oscar Echo Whiskey, then turn left to the VR, climb at 5,000 and hold. In here we're going on the runway track to D11 Juliet, that's 10 miles.
367, monitor Unicom, bye-bye.
And then left to Fox Mike Delta to hold, and we can quickly check the hold as well. 159 inbound left turns, minimum 5,000, so that's all in. Okay, if we have to go around Togak, go around flight 15, set go around thrust, raise landing, go with a positive rate, 400 feet, left flaps 5, 1 up, when we're level in 5,000, engage the automatics after takeoff checks, and decide on the further course of action. You can also put 10.4 on the standby radios.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, contact Wien 1287, ciao.
1287, KLM 45 Foxtrot, ciao. So, 1287.
The 06 November, Wien radar contact level 35, 0 jet, Pushback 1 Whiskey.
Pushback 1 Whiskey.
Wien Radar, Airbus KLM 25 Foxtrot, passing flight level 350, descending 310 in Mont Mazur.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, radar contact, descent level 170, cross Mazur at level.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, descent level 170, cross Mazur at level. Set, 170 checked, and 170 and Mazur is in. Okay, so where did we stop off exactly? Frequency for the missed approach VOR is set. So what we're then going to do is
The 06 November, descent level 310.
for the diversion to Bratislava we need 1.7. We're arriving with 2.7, so that's 25 minutes of extra fuel, using up 500 kilos, which makes a landing weight of 53 tons. So let's have a quick look into the performance tool. Landing en route. Vienna 11 2.5 dry, wind 090. At 4, temperature 23 1018. Let's start looking at a flap 30 config, 53 tons. And for the exits, Alpha 6 is possible with just about, yeah, Alpha 4 is better. Let's compare that with a chart, see where that's going. Alpha 4, Alpha 6, yeah. Both of them work equally fine. But we want to do the turnaround, so let's aim for Alpha 4 here. So flaps 30, auto brakes 2. Right, and that's going to give us a brake cooling time of 19 minutes, so that should be just about fine.
And the Got Rush 7, level 170 for 240.
Rush 17, table.
Alright, so I don't quite know where we're parking, but we'll get the taxi instructions carefully from ATC. Any questions on the approach briefing? Very good.
26 Romeo, contact Wien 134.675, 134.675, Archer into 6 Romeo, see you. From the 06 November, descent level 170, cross Mazur at level. Contact 875, Wien radar contact descent level 310.
Level 310.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, report indicated airspeed.
KLM 25 Foxtrot 270.
KLM 25 Foxtrot number 1, speed 290 greater.
Speed 290 greater KLM 25 Foxtrot.
This is KLM 1925, level 230.
KLM 1975, radar contact 220, cam level 300.
Climb by level 300 for KLM 1975.
Radar Volkswagen 055, I can 270.
Aircraft 055, radar contact 270. W875, descent level 170, cross now good level.
170 and
KLM 25 Foxtrot, report speed 3134.675, bye.
134.675 for the speed KLM 25 Foxtrot, bye.
Have a descent, flight level 130, expect ILS runway 11.
Beans Airbus KLM 25 Foxtrot level 205, descending 170 in Mazur, speed 290.
KLM 25 Foxtrot identified and accurate turn, expect ILS runway 11.
Information echo, expect RLS 11 KLM 25 Foxtrot.
26 Romeo, speed 220 knots.
Speed 220 knots, Charles 26 Romeo.
Ryanair 24 November Tango, contact me radar 128.7.
Radar, good evening, call by 9 to X-ray Alpha passing 3700 feet.
KLM 6 Mike, flight limit 290.
Size 290, KLM 6 Mike.
On the sign?
Alpine 9 to X-ray Alpha.
Alpine 902 X-ray Alpha, identified climb flight level 240.
Climb level 240, Alpine 9 to X-ray Alpha.
Europa 379, contact me in the Hypo 119 on display.
On to go, monitoring the Vienna.
118,
Can't really reduce the rate without busting the ATC restriction of 170 at Mazur, so we'll just let it do this.
November, identified information anchor here, expect ILS runway 11. Expecting 26 Romeo, descent 8,000 feet, QNH 1018.
1018 down to 8,000 feet, Charles 26 Romeo.
No automatic. We don't want the automatic energy compensation. We had speed 290 instructed by ATC.
1055, contacting radar 118.725. KLM 25 Foxtrot, descent flight level 130, clear nearly 4 kilo transition.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, just confirm the flight level again, cleared Nadu 4 kilo transition.
It's flight level 130.
Thank you, flight level 130, KLM 25 Foxtrot. Set to... sorry, 130 set. Level change.
Identified, information accurate, expect ILS runway 11.
Expect from
1055, contacting radar 118, decimal 725. Radar 079, Kilo Alpha Info Echo 150 in continuity. And 9 Kilo Alpha identified, destination Echo Sierra, expect left runway 11. 11 Alpha 9 Kilo Alpha. 673, contacting radar 128, decimal 7. 128, decimal 7, for consider 70. Romeo, direct Whiskey 656. Repeat for Austrian 26 Romeo, please.
Direct Whiskey 656.
Press the position, direct Whiskey 656, Austrian 26 Romeo.
Okay, descent 8,000 feet, QNH 1018.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, descend 8,000 feet, QNH 1018. Set, 8,000 checked. Set altimeter 1018. Passing 14,000, descending 8,000, no flag, stand by set. The passenger signs can go on.
777, the flight heading 320. Right heading 320. Number 902 XA Alpha, contact me, radar 128.7.
128.7, hold my 926 bye.
904, descent flight level 130, give ballast 6 kilos transition. 394, descent flight level 130, give ballast 3 kilos transition.
Level 130, ballast 6 kilos. 394.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, shall we reduce our speed below 100 or keep to 90?
KLM 25 Foxtrot, reduce speed 220 knots.
Speed 230 knots, KLM 25 Foxtrot.
Ocean 1055 has its unbuckled speed before.
1055, yeah, tried contacting you a couple of times, but switch to 118, that's 1725.
What's that? Switching 118 is 725. Okay, that's good. 105.
777, descent 8,000 feet, QNH 1018.
Good evening, Consider 8.5
Hello, we heard that. I have also 055 and 170.
Number 875, identified information accuracy, expect ILS runway 11.
Information echo and
Hotel 26, Romeo, direct Whiskey 651.
Direct Whiskey 651 for Austrian 26 Romeo.
And from 055, identified information accuracy, expect ILS runway 11.
Okay, let's runway 11 there from 055.
26 Romeo, contact team, arrival 119.8, Alpha Novi.
119.8, Austrian 26 Romeo, yeah.
KLM 6 Mike, contact team, arrival 119.8, Alpha Novi.
119.8, KLM 6 Mike, correct.
Altimeters, passing
direct Whiskey 652.
Whiskey 652, KLM 25 Foxtrot.
Vienna Radar Kilowatt 100, flight level 200 for 180.
Andrea 1010, identified destination accuracy, expect ILS runway 11.
Expecting ILS 11, Andrea 100.
Approach Austrian 378.
230 knots, so we are a little bit high right now. Nothing the speed brake can solve. So fuel is balanced with 4 points on, lights On angle of bank 25, air cannon press, 3.0 descending set, fast modes on, recall checked, 1 to 1.5, deselected, 10 checks complete, we've got 1 to go.
9 Kilo Alpha, descent flight level 130. 71, identified, information acquisition, expression alert, runway 11. KLM 25 possible, can you check if you have Whiskey 652?
Hey, firm, we have it, we're turning towards it, about 5 degrees further to the right, KLM 25 Foxtrot.
Okay, thank you, contact Green arrival on 119.8.
1198, KLM 6, correction 25 Foxtrot. In arrival, KLM 25 Foxtrot.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, in arrival, servos, descent 5,000 feet.
Descend 5,000 feet, KLM 25 Foxtrot. Set. 5,000 checked, double change.
KLM 6 Echo Mike, speed 180.
Speed 180 on the KLM 600.
We're doing 190, Austrian 26 Romeo.
Just a quick glimpse, as I know that so many of you like this.
Speed 170, KLM 600.
KLM 6 Echo Mike, turn now right 080, clear direct 11.
Right 080, clear direct 11, KLM 600.
BNF, speed brake is down again.
KLM 25 Foxtrot and left 200.
KLM 25 Foxtrot left 200, speed 200.
126 Romeo, speed 160 knots grade.
160 knots are greater, Austrian 26 Romeo.
Okay, heading select. Yeah, this much about angle of bank 25. That's something I don't like about this MCP.
160 124, KLM.
It's very hard to see where the bank angle selector actually is. But now it's definitely at 25. KLM 25 Foxtrot, speed 180 announced. Flaps 1. Speed checked.
KLM 25 Foxtrot confirmation, you will now cross the local lines and left 080, clear direct 11.
KLM 25 Foxtrot crossing local other left 080, clear direct 11.
26 Romeo Tower, 119.
Vertical speed.
Repeat, 119, what was the frequency for 26 Romeo?
119 and left.
119 for Austrian 26 Romeo, clear.
So let's do a frisk check then. Frequencies. All bright. Frequencies 110.3. Rings. Around the runway 1110-4. Items Oscar Echo Whiskey. Standby instruments set. Course is 111. Approach checklist. Altimeter instruments. Select cross checked. Approach rates. Checked set. Approach checklist complete. Both mode armed. 1 to go is checked.
November, reach dedicated airspeed.
Dedicated airspeed is 220.
06 November, cockpit, reduce speed to 220. KLM 6 Echo Mike, contact power 119 and over.
119.4, KLM 6 Echo Mike, good day.
Localizer capture. Glass loop capture.
777 in arrival, servos.
Room heading 111 and 5,000 feet for the missed approach set. Disconnecting autopilot.
06 November, turn left heading 200, November, further left heading 140, clear direct.
KLM 25 Foxtrot established.
Okay, 25 Foxtrot, thank you. Turn right heading 080, clear direct one.
This is an awesome view, isn't it? KLM 25 Foxtrot 160 knots until 6 miles and bomber 9 of us move 4, bye bye. Okay, flaps 5. Speed is checked.
Also 3 Papa Mike, wind 049 degrees, vorne, runway 16 clear.
Runway 16 clear, takeoff, Lufthansa, Papa Mike.
Peter, guten Abend, KLM 25 Foxtrot ILS 11.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, wind tower, hello, continue number. KLM 6 Echo Mike, wind 090 degrees, vorne, runway 11, speed is left.
11 clear to land, KLM 6 Echo Mike.
Christopher 3 landing at the GSE at all dispersion, wind 090 degrees, vorne. Christopher 3 landing at the GSE at all discretion, wind 090 degrees, vorne.
Clear to land, GSE on discretion, start off 3.
Sunjet 223, contact spin radar 134, 675.
And runway 11, take it at Alpha 6, forward train to 6 runway.
From 264 me, contact ground 14775.
21775, forward train to 6 runway.
Cover Austin.
Gear down, flap 15. And the landing checklist. Start switches continues, recall, checked, speed brake on green light, landing gear down 3 clean, auto brakes 2 set, flaps 30.
134, das sind 675. Vielen Dank, schönen Abend. Austrian 375.
Lufthansa 3, Papa Mike, contact spin radar 134, 675.
134, 675, Lufthansa, Papa Mike.
So, flaps 30, 30 green light, holding at the landing lights.
KLM 6 Echo Mike, contact ground 11775.
11775, KLM 6 Echo Mike, correct.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, wind 090 degrees,
KLM 25 Foxtrot, Romeo 11, clear to land.
Then 905, wind 090 degrees, vorne, runway
500, continue.
500.
Then 905, only static.
So, das war 06 November, ILS 11.
Lufthansa 06 November, wind tower, hello, continue.
Approaching minimums.
Check.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30, 20, 10.
Speed break up, thrust goes normal. Auto reverse. 100 knots.
Targeting
80 knots. 60 knots.
Last fish call, calling caution only.
Manual brakes. Auto brake disarm.
Austin 3 Foxtrot, line up late runway 16.
Okay, this is not good. Come on, taxi away. We want to vacate the runway after all. Thank you.
It's the 06 November, wind 09 knots, correct 4 knots, runway 11, clear to land. KLM 25 Foxtrot, contact wing count 11775, servus.
11775, KLM 25 Foxtrot, servus.
VC 777, Wien Tower, servus.
Wing ground, servus, KLM 25 Foxtrot, runway vacated.
KLM 25 Foxtrot, servus, geht Charlie 40 via Mike.
Charlie 40 by Mike, KLM 25 Foxtrot. Okay, Charlie is to the left, but the rest of it we'll have to check. So Charlie quite a bit to the left, okay. And then exit 9 takes to line 34. In between the two terminals. We can do that.
Airwings 2757, ready for taxi.
2757, taxi holding point, runway 16, upper 1 via Vicky.
Okay, so to the left here.
Taxi to runway 16, hold short Bravo 1, via Whiskey, Airwings 2757.
So Charlie 39, so 40 is probably the next one. Starting at
Charlie Mike,
you.
taxi Lima Delta, stop Delta 1.
So it got to be to the left of the KLM there.
Lima Delta, stop Delta 1, 46 Mike.
Ryanair 39 Foxtrot, servus, push and spread approved, facing east.
Charlie 40, here it is.
Facing east, Ryanair 39 Foxtrot.
Shut on engine number 2. Two blues, one red.
Captain 496. Lufthansa 06 November, servus, taxi
Cabin crew,
Lima
disarm lights and
Whiskey,
open doors.
stop Whiskey 3.
So here we are. And we've passed 20%. Alright, so it's unfortunately become a little bit late to do the return flight. We're never going to be able to make it towards Amsterdam. But I think I've got something for you that you're going to like, that we're going to do. So, turn around as normal. And those of you who are listening, please look away for a second, yeah? Just look away for a second. Alright, now you can start looking again. So, the jetway is about as far here as it gets. Let's actually start deboarding then. Alright, let's do a quick flight planning here, because I haven't actually prepared the return flight yet. So we'll go from Vienna to Amsterdam. Let's see, KLM 76 Kilo. Is that one still available? No, calls on in use. Next one, KLM 58 Delta. In use. KLM 64 X-ray. That one's available. So this is the flight we're going to use. Yep, it's even live at the moment. So let's see on the event details. Routing. This is what we're going to take. Let's go for a new flight. We are the KLM 1848 from Vienna to Amsterdam. Alternate will go to Eindhoven, since they are not as restrictive on a night curfew. Aircraft will base it on the Sierra Echo Victor, but it is Papa Hotel Bravo Golf Golf. Cast in next 30. Departure time, let's make that 1/4 past, that sounds good. And we are the KLM 64 X-ray. And the scheduled flight time is 1 hour and 50. Departure runway, they're using 16 over here. Let's quickly put the routing in before we do this. So, runway 16 and the arrival runway, I believe they have been using 36 right. Passengers will go full house 128 and freight will take 2 tons. Alright, that looks about right. So, an hour and 35 pre-filed. Yeah, we're never going to make that on time for the VATSIM event, but as said, we've prepared something different. So guys, what I'm going to do real quick, I'll quickly have to coordinate something with delivery. But I don't want to take the surprise away for all of you for the next flight, so bear with me for just muting you for a quick second in the stream, and we'll be right back. Alright everyone, just a quick update. I'm currently working with the air traffic controllers to get approval for what I want to show you later on. So just bear with me for a short while, and they are currently planning if my request is possible or not. In the meantime, let's start preparing our return flight towards Amsterdam. So weather over there is looking pretty good. So I don't see any reason to take any extra fuel over there. So 6 tons it's going to be.
Lufthansa 454, monitor ground 1.
Alright, so ATC is available for you guys as well again, but I'm just going to leave the frequency real quick here. So let's see, sim toolkit. Yep, the landing was perfectly fine, 109 feet a minute. Once again, Blackbox 711's website, really recommendable for airfield briefings and for a lot more great information for briefing. So, the idea is to proceed at 18 DME Whiskey Golf Mike, then left turn 2 Whiskey Golf Mike and hold. So let's see, we've got Whiskey Golf Mike slash, what did he say there? /18, and then turn left to Whiskey Golf Mike and hold. Okay, that's understood. Cool. This is what I'm looking for. So, how's the ground crew doing? Still don't have a fuel truck. The passengers are almost boarded. The luggage is on board. So the fuel truck should hopefully come any moment then. So, threats for the departure. I do honestly not see any particular threats for this very departure. So let's go ahead and do a route check. Going from Lima Oscar Whiskey Whiskey Echo Hotel Alpha Mike, Kilo Lima Mike 64 X-Ray. The routing is leading us via Medics, direct Lamsi, Lima 604 Rutno, direct Mapox, Lima 604 Bigger, direct Amzan, Tango 281 Norku with a Norku arrival, and the ground distance on this one is supposed to be 566 versus 582. Fuel, so 0 for now, we've planned 6 tons, let's see what that's going to give us. We're still waiting for the fuel truck. Why is that? Oh, now it's arriving. Okay. So we'll arrive with 2.5 and we need 2.0, giving us roughly 10 minutes extra. Right, time BTC 1854, altimeter 1018, reading about 600 feet. MFRA is going to be 1600-ish. We'll determine that with the onboard performance tool once we have all the data. Flight directors are on minus master and the standby instruments are set. This is going to be a left-sea takeoff from runway 16. Flaps will be 5 NADP2 with a buck-up at 1500. Sorry, actually with a buck-up at... with a standard back-up at 1000. So, standard emergencies, the EO sits straight out to 18 DME Whiskey Golf Mike. That's over here, then a left turn to Whiskey Golf Mike to hold. And that sector MSA is 3600, 2700, so climbing 4000 feet is going to be fine. Now, looking at the taxi, we're parked on Charlie 40, pushback into taxi line 34, and then via Mike, runway 16 up here, so probably Mike, Echo or Delta, and then Bravo 2, Bravo 1. We'll take Bravo 3 or Bravo 5 intersection figures, and that's it. Okay, so departure medics to Bravo, departure runway 16, chart 10-3 Lima, effective 27th of January, speed max 250 below 10,000, 250 below 10,000. Content Wien radar when advised by tower. Flight decks are recorded at Vienna Airport and aircraft noise is monitored in all relevant populated areas around the airport. Climb with the optimal noise abatement takeoff profile appropriate for the particular type of aircraft. Adhere to noise abatement procedures as strictly as possible. To expedite traffic, ATC may request the aircraft to start initial turn visually as soon as practicable. In this case, terrain clearance has to be assured by the pilot up 2,400 feet. Yeah, it's dark outside. We are not going to do that. Transition altitude 10,000 versus 10,001. Now let's look at the routing. Medics to Bravo, climb on 159 track, Whiskey Whiskey 269. 161 Whiskey Whiskey 269, that's fine. Then it's going to be via 364, 379, 382 Medics. Climb clearance 5,000 feet. We'll put that in here. Okay, 5,000 once, 5,000 twice. Alright, do you have any questions? Perfect, then we're just waiting for the fuel. Boarding is complete, luggage is on board. So just waiting for the fuel now. In the meantime, let's do the transit before start checklist. Gear pins, 1 to 3. Here they are, 1 to 3 removed. And we've got oxygen, test 100%, yaw damper on, fuel to go, fasten belts to go, window heat on, air compressed, back auto bleeds on set, pressurization mode selector, auto, instruments, cross-checked, auto brakes, RTO, speed brake, down detent, parking brake, set, stop from cutout switches, normal, radius radar and transponder, set standby, rudder and aileron trim 3 and 0, take a brief and discussed, holding PA. So yes, those of you who are wondering in the comments, we are going to take off again back towards Amsterdam. Assuming that we are going to make it there. Alright, so fueling is still in progress. Let's get the IFR clearance in the meantime. Wien Delivery, schönen guten Abend, KLM 6 for X-ray, information echo request IFR clearance to Amsterdam.
KLM 6 for X-ray, Wien Delivery, hello. Information echo clearance to Amsterdam via medics to Bravo departure. Initial climb 5,000 feet, squawk 1,000, QNH 1018.
KLM 6 for X-ray is clear to Amsterdam, medics to Bravo departure, climb 5,000 feet, squawk 1,000, QNH 1018.
KLM 6 for X-ray, repeat correct, call me time 190745.
KLM 6 for X-ray, confirm 1907.
Confirm.
Roger, thank you. Okay, so start up in 7 minutes, that's perfectly fine. So, let's see, 5,000 feet, medics to Bravo, and squawk 1,000, QNH 1018, that's what we have. Perfect.
Vienna Delivery, good morning, good evening, please flight right check.
Pushback 1, Wien Delivery, hello.
So, refueling is done, the truck can go.
Delivery Service 9 Lima Bravo Info Echo Clearance nach Graz, bitte.
Nana Lima Bravo, Wien Delivery, hello, Info Echo Clearance, you're cleared Graz, Rupert to Bravo departure.
Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of KLM, I would like to welcome you all on board our flight to Amsterdam. Flight time today is in the region of an hour and 35 minutes. We expect a smooth flight and a slightly delayed arrival due to the current traffic situation and a so-called air traffic control slot that we've received. So that's a predetermined time where we can start up our engines and make our way towards Amsterdam. We are currently negotiating with our traffic control to get this forward as much as possible, but if we don't get any improvement, we expect to be pushing back in approximately 5 minutes time. Thank you very much for your attention, and finally the cabin crew is shortly going to point out the safety features on board this Boeing 737-700 aircraft. Please pay your full attention, as that is not just for your own safety but also for the safety of the people sitting around you. Thank you very much for joining. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight, and if there is anything we can do for you to make your flight more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask any of our cabin crew. Once again, thank you very much for joining, and we wish you all a nice and relaxing flight. Alright, so now it's waiting. Well, almost. We can do our takeoff performance. So we'll keep the ground power for now. No need to waste any fuel. So let's see, zero fuel, 51.5 versus 51.2, and that gives me 57.6. That's alright.
Pushback 1, confirm, you're calling me at 1909.
So we're in Wien, runway 16. We're going to take Bravo 5 figures we set. It's dry. Let's see, 080 at 5. Temperature 211018. And the takeoff weight 57,600. 22k at 40 degrees. 90.1 versus 89.4, that's within limits. Flaps 5, 5.7 units of trim, and the speed's 26, 27, 32. Unable 205 knots, that's not a problem. And 132. What's this? Okay. And last but not least, we could set that runway heading here, 161. Okay, let's complete the before start checklist. PA complete, FMC CDU set, M1 and IS box. Our automatic reduced 22k, 90.1, speeds 26, 27, 32 set. Step trim 5.7 set. A performance weight and balance, sign send, phones off, EFB. So airplane mode and stowed, flight awareness and cockpit door. No, we still have one locked, holding at doors. Alright, I'll be right back.
KLM 64 X-ray monitor ground 117.5.
So, start up in a minute, APU is available. Let's release that ground power. Why have I just been thrown out of VATSIM? Come on, don't do this to me. You are going to work. Our slot is now. Looks like there may be something wrong with the server or so. See if another server works. Doesn't seem so. Oh no.
Cockpit to ground.
This is ground. Stand by.
So this is the second time that I can't connect to VATSIM today. Well...
Okay, sir. The bypass.
I'll just restart vPilot.
All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. Standing by for pushback.
Here we are. So now, APU is online. Delivery KLM 64 X-ray, we're back after disconnect, sorry. But we are fully ready to go.
KLM 64 X-ray, contact correction monitor ground, 121.775.
121.775, thank you very much for the help and good night, KLM 64 X-ray. So, all the equipment is gone, passengers are seating, let's complete the checklist.
Ground,
Doors closed, passengers seated. So, just for the sake of the immersion, what do you think about just putting the time back to something during daylight? I mean, something during dusk. How does that sound?
KLM 64 X-ray, push and start approved.
KLM 64 X-ray, push and start approved. I think this is a nice setup, isn't it? So let's do this in. Okay, yeah, he said push and start approved, so below the line. Air compacts off, anti-collision on, parking brake set, transponder alt off, before start checklist complete.
Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
We are cleared for start and push. Parking brake set.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
Yeah, we'll start in the sequence.
Okay, beyond the white line, start engine 2. Can I do this? Yeah. N2, oil pressure, N1.
Good numbers of check with you, dislocated on the Alpha 6.
Okay, 068 Devils Gate Foxtrot 23 via exit 7.
Foxtrot 23 via exit 7, that's okay.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Brake set.
Parking brake set.
And the starting
Ground.
number 1.
You may disconnect.
Okay, sir. Clear to disconnect. Pin has been removed. See you at the side. Have a good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and goodbye.
And 2, all pressure, and 1.
KLM 1665, pushback in 18. Olympic 2 Max Sierra, contact wind ground 121.6.
Ground 121.6, bye bye, Olympic 2 Max Sierra.
Deck 1, deck west taxi.
Static cutout, monitor 1. 1 stable.
Deck 1 taxi via Lima.
Taxi via Lima on deck 1.
Ground hello, KLM 1847, deck runway after 6.
Flight controls. Up, down, neutral, left, right, neutral, left, right, neutral.
KLM 1665, push instead of course facing.
Okay, before taxi checklist. Generators on, APU off, start switches continuous, probe heat on, anti-ice off, air conditioning, PAX auto bleeds on, isolation valve auto, flaps 5 required, 5 selected and green light. Step trim, 5.7 set.
KLM 1847, gate Charlie.
Start levers, idle detent, flight controls checked, recall checked, before taxi checklist complete. Okay, before we're going to start taxi, I'll quickly try something. So I just want to try a different method to record sounds here. Let's see if this is working. KLM 653, request taxi. Come on, say something. KLM 64 X-ray, request taxi.
KLM 64 X-ray.
It works. Perfect.
KLM 64 X-ray taxi via Lima.
KLM 64 X-ray, taxi via Lima. Okay, so what is the chart saying here? Lima is the inner one, okay, so just to the left and then we can go straight. Okay. Brakes off, config. So clear on the left. So, and we said that we can take intersection Bravo 5, or Bravo 3 would be better from here. Before takeoff checklist to the line. Config, checked, flaps 5, green light, step gen 5.7, set. Takeoff briefing, it's going to be a left seat takeoff, runway 16, flaps 5, NADP 2. And our SID is going straight out with a right turn out, contact departure when advised by the tower. EOSID straight out 18 miles from Whiskey Golf Mike, then a left turn to the VOR climbing 4,000 feet.
665, when are you ready for taxi?
Okay, 5,000 feet, the squawk is in, reviewed. Holding at cabin. KLM 64 X-ray is able intersection Sierra 3.
KLM 64 X-ray, contact ground 121.6.
116, KLM 64 X-ray. Being ground unarmed, KLM 64 X-ray, ready for departure, able Sierra 3.
Taking tower 194, limited Sierra.
KLM 64 X-ray Wien ground. Good evening, continue taxi via Whiskey exit 23 Echo exit 32 holding point Bravo 2 runway 16.
KLM 64 X-ray, just confirm Whiskey exit 23 Echo exit 32 Bravo.
KLM 64 X-ray, the first one was correct, but it's holding point Bravo 2.
Holding point Bravo 2, KLM 64 X-ray, thank you. So let's quickly see where that is.
Tower 119.4.
So, exit.
And KLM 64 X-ray, you just missed the Whiskey, so make a left onto Echo and then continue via Echo and exit 32 holding point Bravo 2.
Okay, left Echo, exit and holding point Bravo 2, KLM 64 X-ray. Yeah, sorry, we're still searching the charts while we got the clearance. Okay, so left on Echo, that's over here. And then we'll go Bravo 2 and take the exit right in front of that. Okay.
Lufthansa 33 Alpha Wien ground.
Do we actually have a better chart showing
taxi via Whiskey Blue Line stand Foxtrot 26.
Yeah, here we can see it. Exit 32. There's the beam Whiskey 3. Okay. Then I know where to go. I know, this airport always catches me at this very position. Because there are so many exits and so many different numbers that you can throw up on. And then of course they give it to you the very last second before you are taking a beam that entry without previously giving you any hold shot clearance. So that's not exactly making it easy. So this is exit 34, we're going past this.
Being ground, KLM 1665 on leave up.
KLM 1665 being ground, hello. Continue taxi via exit
Whiskey to
24
the right.
Echo exit 32 holding point Bravo 216.
So then it's one further. Yeah. Bravo 2 to the right, there it is on the side.
KLM 1665, continue taxi via exit 24 Echo exit 32 holding point Bravo 2 runway 16. KLM 1665, just confirm exit 24 then Echo then exit 32.
And seems like I'm not the only one here who's had problems with this.
Thank you, and KLM 64 X-ray, contact Wien Tower 119.4.
119.4, KLM 64 X-ray.
Canadian 202, good evening Wien.
KLM 1839, I've been sorry to go to Greece, 5 knots, runway 11, clear to land.
Positive 2 Max Sierra, contacting radar 134.675, bye-bye.
Radar 134.675, bye-bye.
Bye-bye 865 Tango November, contacting count 121775, south.
Over the 121775, 865.
Tower for 30 Victor, Arbeit.
After 30 Victor, Wien Tower, Servus nach Europa.
Wien Tower schon genannt, KLM 64 X-Ray ready for departure.
KLM 64 X-Ray, Wien Tower, wind 080 degrees, 5 knots, runway 16, clear for takeoff.
Runway 16, clear for takeoff, KLM 64 X-Ray. Okay, confirm loop back.
Contacting radar 134.675,
Runway 16 cleared for takeoff. Before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP. Set. Transponder. TARA. Strobe lights on. Landing lights on. Before takeoff checklist complete.
KLM 48 Tango, wind 080 degrees, 5 knots, runway 11, clear to land.
Runway 11, clear to land,
KLM 1839, contacting ground 11775, bye-bye.
So, timing. Stabilized. Set takeoff thrust. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. Checked.
V1
Engine failure.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up.
Phoenix 23, wind 080 degrees, 5 knots, runway 11, clear to land.
State malfunction. Heading select. Okay, we've got 0 and 1. Engine fail fact showing. KLM 64 X-ray, pan, engine failure, standby. Okay, and 0 and 2. I would say it's an engine severe damage, engine number 2. Okay, buck up. Flaps 1.
KLM 64 X-ray, you can expect runway 16.
KLM 64 X-ray, roger. We are proceeding to 18 DME from Whiskey Golf Mike and then we'll turn left back to the VOR climbing 4,000 feet.
KLM 64 X-ray, roger.
Flaps up. Okay, so engine severe damage, memory items. Auto throttle if engaged, disengage. Disengage. 34675 KLM 67 X-ray. Okay, we're not gonna quite call him yet. Let's finish the memory items. So, thrust lever, engine number 2, confirm. 2, confirmed, close. Engine start lever, engine number 2, confirm. 2, confirmed. Close. Sorry, cut off. Engine fire switch, engine number 2, confirm. Confirm. Override and pull. If the engine fire switch or engine overheat light is illuminated, so fire switch is not illuminated, overheat light is not illuminated either.
Tower service, scan 1853.
So 4,000 here. That's the memory items complete. Okay, flaps up the lights. Level change. Max continuous thrust is no longer needed. Let's call departure. Speed radar, pan, KLM 64 X-ray, engine failure, proceeding direct Whiskey Golf Mike, maintaining 4,000 feet.
KLM 64 X-ray, Wien radar, servus, radar contact, roger.
Okay. Let's see if we can get engage the automatics. Command A.
Olympic
it's
to Mike
working.
Sierra, contact Wien radar 128.7.
Contacting Wien radar 128.7.
Okay, speed 220. Direct 2. Whiskey, Golf, Mike. Put that in here. LNAV available. LNAV. Okay, and that's master caution, air conditioning off scheduled descent. We can disregard this. KLM 64 X-ray, request to hold over at Whiskey Golf Mike, present course as the inbound course, 1 minute right turn.
KLM 64 X-ray, roger, able to climb 6,000 feet.
KLM 64 X-ray, affirm.
KLM 64 X-ray, climb 6,000 feet, hold at Wagram. Maybe if you're present, course at inbound.
KLM 64 X-ray, climbing 6,000 feet, hold at Wagram, present course as inbound course. Okay, that holding is correct.
18 contact Wien, 128.7, bye-bye.
Let's go with the engine fire, severe damage or separation non-normal checklist. Are you ready for the condition statement? So, one or more of these occur. An engine fire warning, airframe vibrations with abnormal indications, or an engine has separated. Yeah, we definitely had the vibrations, and it does not look like a separation though. So, auto throttle if engaged, disengage. Disengaged. Thrust lever, engine number 2, confirm, close. Confirmed, closed. Engine start lever, engine number 2, confirmed, cut off. Number 2, confirmed, cut off. Engine fire switch, engine number 2, confirmed, pull. To manually unlock the engine fire switch, press the override and pull. If the engine fire switch or overheat light is illuminated... No, it's not illuminated. 1 to go. Okay, that completes the memory items. Let's actually get that QRH list out. So, choose one. Are we on the ground or are we in flight? We are in flight. Go to step 7. If after 30 seconds the engine fire switch or engine overheat light stays illuminated, it doesn't. It never was illuminated. Choose one. High airframe vibration occurs and continues after the engine is shut down, or high airframe vibration does not occur or does not continue after the engine is shut down. I don't feel any high airframe vibration at the moment. So let's take the second point. High airframe vibration does not occur and does not continue after the engine is shut down. Isolation valve switch, close. Closed. Pack switch, number 2 side off. This causes the operating pack to regulate to high flow in flight with the flaps up. Okay, that's the right pack. Off. APU bleeder switch, off. Off. Choose one. APU is available for start or APU is not available? I would say the APU is available. Okay, APU start. When the APU is running, APU generator affected side on. Okay, let's use the time to get the latest weather of Vienna. Pan KLM 6 for X-ray, request the latest weather information of Vienna and if there is currently any event traffic inbound.
KLM 6 for X-ray, wind at Vienna 120 degrees 4 knots, cloud and visibility okay, temperature 19, dew points 10, QNH 1018 and currently no inbound to runway 16, runway 16 will be available.
KLM 6 for X-ray, QNH 1019, the rest is copied and that's understood, runway 16 active for us.
KLM 6 for X-ray, QNH is 1018 and if you need it, runway 11 is also available.
Thank you, QNH 1018, and we'll call you back with our decision, KLM 6 for X-ray. Okay, so when the APU is running, APU generator switch affected side on. APU is running, the right side, we're flying command A, so right generator switch on. Go to step 13. With no fuel in the center tank, fuel quantity on the operative engine side should be less than the quantity on the failed side. If not, suspect a fuel leak, do not balance fuel. Okay, on the left side it's a lot less than on the right side, so that looks normal. Also increase the thrust a little bit, we don't want to get too slow. So, fuel balance. Happy to do this by heart? Yes. Thrust feet open. On the left side is the low side. Left pump's going off. Okay. Transponder mode selector. TA only. TA only. This step prevents climb commands which can exceed reduced thrust performance capability. So, isolation valve switch after the fire has been extinguished. Auto. This ensures bleeder is available to both wings if anti-ice is needed. So there has never been a fire, so we can put the isolation valve switch into auto. Plan to land at the nearest suitable airport. Note, do not use FMC performance predictions. Go to the one engine inoperative landing checklist on page 7.32. So that completes the checklist, then let's do the after takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist. Air condition and pressurization, 2.6, maintaining, set. Altimeters, 1018, maintaining 6000. After takeoff checklist complete. So just before we continue with this, let me really quickly check why the frame rates have gotten so bad. I suspect it's... No, there is sufficient memory available. Okay. Oh, now they're better. Okay. So, let's see what we're going to do then. The obvious decision is Vienna. That's straight here. The weather is good. There is sufficient emergency services. We do have, well, there is a maintenance available there, even though probably not a KLM maintenance, but that shall not play much a problem at the moment. Also, we came from Vienna, so I would say the obvious decision is to divert to Vienna without any further troubleshooting needed there. Master caution, air conditioning, our scheduled descent, that's fine. It's going to bring us back. Okay, then let's quickly talk to the cabin crew. Number 1 to the flight deck. So, cabin of flight deck number 1 standing by, cabin of flight deck number 2 standing by. Okay, I've got a NITS briefing for you, report ready to copy. So, the nature of the problem, we've lost an engine on our departure, so we are flying on a single engine. The intention is to divert to Vienna, the time is approximately 10 minutes, and an SOS demo is required. Please read back. Okay, so nature is an engine failure. The intention is to divert to Vienna. Time is approximately 10 minutes, and an SOS demo is required. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I will keep you up to date. Oh, let's talk to ATC then. Beam KLM 64 X-ray.
Okay, 64 X-ray, go ahead.
KLM 64 X-ray, our intention is to return towards Vienna. We will land on runway 16 and we will need approximately 10 minutes. Emergency services are requested. We have an engine severe damage, probably an uncontained engine failure.
KLM 64 X-ray, roger, is copied, expect ILS approach runway 16, report ready for approach.
Expect ILS approach runway 16, Wilco KLM 64 X-ray. Okay, then let's continue with the one engine inoperative non-normal landing checklist. Condition: landing must be made with one engine inoperative. Plan a flap 15 landing. Set VREF 15 or VREF ice. Note: if any of the following conditions apply, set VREF ice, which equals VREF 15 plus 10 knots. That engine anti-ice will be used during the landing. Wing anti-ice has been used any time during the flight. Icing conditions were encountered, and during the flight and the landing, temperatures below 10 degrees centigrade. Note: when VREF ice is needed, the wind additive should not exceed 5 knots. Check the non-normal configuration landing distance tables in the Performance in-flight QRH chapter or other approved source. Maintain VREF 15 plus wind additive or VREF ice plus wind additive on final approach to ensure sufficient maneuver margin and speed for the go-around. The minimum wind additive is 5 knots. When engine anti-ice is needed, use on the operating engine only, and that completes the checklist. So let's plan our return then. You have control, your radios, and I will set this up. Vienna 16, and this shall do.
Vienna radar, Buenos Aires, Arrow 3, Alpha Bravo, 3200 for 5000.
Arrow 3, Alpha Bravo, Several radar contact, climb altitude 7000 feet.
Claim 8000 feet, it's Arrow 3, Alpha Bravo.
Come on, Navigraph, you can do this.
7000 feet.
In a second, maybe.
3 Alpha Bravo.
KLM 1665, contact Wien radar 118.725.
118.725, KLM 1665, feet.
It shows it for a short time. Oh, that's not good. ILS 11 is there. ILS 16 is not. But the RMP chart is working.
659 at defense 6000 feet.
659 at defense 6000
So then we're going to do the RMP approach.
Climb level 240.
Climb 240, 3 Alpha Bravo.
One more attempt. Can we get the ILS chart? Yeah, now we can. Okay, then it's going to be the ILS. No doubt about that. So this is fine. Minimum 797. So that's 159, 797, 108.5. Okay, then performance tool, landing en route. We are going to Vienna 16, 2.5, dry, 120 at 4. That's 19 degrees, 1018. We have a non-normal here, which is engine in-op, flaps config 15. Let's see on the landing weight then. 56.7. We'll just take this. Calculate. Okay, so speed plus 5, 150, and max manual 1136 times 1.3 is roughly 1500. The runway is much longer than that. Okay. So flaps 15 plus 5. So let's go over the checklist one more time. Plan a flap 15 landing. Set VRF 15 or VRF ice. Check the non-normal configuration landing distance tables. Maintain VRF 15 plus wind additive. One final approach to ensure sufficient maneuver margin and speed for go-around. The minimum wind additive is 5 knots. Wing engine anti-ice as needed. Use an operating engine only. Okay, checklist complete except deferred items. Let's move forward into the deferred items then. Pressurization. Landing altitude is an automatic return with the off-scheduled descent light. Anti-ice. Off. Approach brief and fuel. Yeah, let's do that now. So, approach briefing. Threats for the arrival. The main threat we have for this arrival is that since we have the engine failure, we might have some control issues on the arrival. Also, single engine go-around is something we're not used to. So we are going to carefully apply all the procedures. We'll take the things slow. For the directional control problems on landing, I've planned using ILR reverse only. We need about 1200 meters. The runway is over 3000 meters long, so there's plenty of runway to use ILR reverse. Apart from that, I don't really see any more threats on this one. Would you have any others? No, okay. Then we have in here 240 below 100, forecast page, we don't need to put anything in. For the rings here we'll put runway 16
radar 118725,
with 10 miles and 4 miles, but that just serves as a reference for us. For the approach itself, it's going to be the ILS approach for runway 16, that's on the chart 11-2. Frequency is 108.5 set on both sides. Final approach course is 159, going down to minimums of 797, which is all in. The approach starts at 13.8 DME in 5,000 feet. That's the Fox India point. We have a 3-degree glide path going down to the minimum 797, and for the missed approach we're going to coordinate with ATC that we can simply go straight ahead and climb to an altitude of 5,000 feet. So let's quickly do that now.
Green radar, 66, guten Abend, information golf is on board, flight level 170.
We're going to use auto brakes level 3 for this. Actually no, we only had data for auto brakes 2, so that's what we're going to use. And taxi, there is not going to be a lot of taxi. We'll vacate the runway after landing, we'll stop on the taxiway, and then we'll have the emergency services inspect the aircraft. Do you have any further questions? Alright. So, approach brief and fuel, discussed, ES and outbox, VRF 15, set, minimum 797, checked and set. Deferred descent checklist complete. Choose one. Additional go-around thrust is needed, or additional go-around thrust is not needed. Well, it is needed. So go to the no engine bleed landing below. No engine bleed landing. When the airplane is below 10,000 feet and the use of wing anti-ice is not anticipated, configure the pressurization system for a no engine bleed landing. Wing anti-ice off. Off. Isolation valve switch close. close. Bleed 1 air switch off. Off. Caution, do not open the APU bleeder valve if the engine fire switch is illuminated. It's not illuminated. APU bleeder switch on. On. Left pack switch auto. Left pack switch is in auto. Bleed 2 air switch off. Bleed 2 air switch off. And that's the additional go-around thrust completed. So, go-around procedure review. Do the normal go-around procedure except use flaps 1. Maintain VRF 15 plus 5 knots or VRF ice plus 5 knots until reaching flap retraction altitude. That is 1,000 feet over the ground. Limit bank angle to 15 degrees when airspeed is less than VRF 15 plus 15 knots or VRF ice plus 5 knots, or the minimum maneuver speed, whichever is lower. Accelerate to flap 1 maneuvering speed before flap retraction. Go-around procedure review complete. Let's tell the ATC that we're ready for the approach. KLM 64 X-ray, we're ready to start the approach. And in case of missed approach, we will request to proceed on the runway heading climbing 5,000 feet.
64 X-ray, roger. Have a shot. KLM 64 X-ray, turn right, heading 020.
KLM 64 X-ray, turn right, heading 020. Heading select. Okay, so let's do a frisk. Frequencies 108.5 rings, even though mostly for reference only. Runway 16, 10-4. Idents, Oscar, Echo, Zulu, both received. Standby instrument set, course is 159. Okay. Deferred approach checklist. Altimeters and instruments, set and cross-checked. Approach aids, checked and set. Deferred approach checklist complete. Let's also do the additional deferred item here. From proximity flap inhibit switch. That's a flap inhibit switch to flap inhibit. Additional deferred item complete. That leaves us only with the deferred items landing checklist. I'll do a quick PA to the passengers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. May I have your attention for a moment? As you have noticed, we have stopped our climb and not continued our flight towards our destination. This is because of a technical malfunction. We are now returning towards Vienna Airport, where we are going to be landing in 5 minutes. The company is already taking care of your transport towards Amsterdam, and we will get back to you by the time that we have landed. Thank you very much. KLM 64 X-ray, say again.
KLM 64 X-ray, left heading 340.
Left heading 340, KLM 64 X-ray.
1441, contact Wien, radar 118.
Okay, let's quickly clean this flight plan up.
118.725, 121, thank you, good night.
So we'll take the Fox India on top with an extended center line.
Descending 9,000 feet, QNH 1018 for success.
Alright, is there anything that we've forgotten? Anything? KLM 64 X-ray, left heading 250, descend 5,000 feet. Heading 250, 5,000 feet, level change. So, is there anything we have forgotten? Anything we could have done different? I can actually not think of anything.
EVA76, level radar contact, information Golf, expect ILS 11.
Okay, the fuel is approximately balanced. Pumps on. And we'll leave the crossfeed open. KLM 64 X-ray, left heading 190, cleared ILS 16. Let's start the speed reduction. Okay, sensible indications. Approach armed. Warlock captured.
Cleared ballot 3 kilo transition. Cleared direct.
Runway heading 159.
51.
Flaps 1. Flaps 5.
And Ryanair 735 on speed 310 knots, calculation.
310 freighters, Ryanair 7351.
In the 876, speed 280 knots, only.
Gear down, flap 15.
One Romeo X-ray, distance 6000 feet. In the 876, descent flight level 130.
You go again.
Okay, the OPT wanted us at 150 knots, so that's what we're going to use.
Flight level 30,
876 negative, flight level 130.
Okay, deferred items landing checklist. Start switch operating engine, continuous. Continuous. Recall checked. That's ELAC and air conditioning. Drive to off scheduled descent.
Are you able to change frequency?
KLM 6 for X-ray phone.
KLM 6 for X-ray, contact Twin Tower 123.8 km.
123.8, KLM 6 for X-ray, thanks.
66, speed 220 knots.
Pinta hello, Pan KLM 6 for X-ray, ILS 16.
KLM 6 for X-ray, wind tower, servos, wind 1243, 1 knots, runway 16, cleared land.
Runway 16, cleared land, KLM 6 for X-ray, and we should be able to vacate the runway.
12 Charlie, wind 1206, 1 knots, runway 11, cleared land.
Okay, so, deferred landing checklist once again. Start switch operating engine, continuous. Continuous. Recall, checked. Oh boy, this performance is not really good today. Don't know what it is, but once I've used something else, it's coming back. Okay, recall, checked. Speed brake, armed green light. Armed green light. Landing gear, down 3 green. Down 3 green. Auto brakes, 2 set. 2 set. Flaps, 15, 15, green light. So that's 15, 15, green light. Landing lights, on. On. Deferred landing checklist complete. Really sorry, I don't know why the performance is so bad, but see this, once there is something different open for a short while, the performance is coming back. This has to do with the scenery, I guess, because I've never seen this elsewhere.
Lufthansa 1 to Charlie vacated.
Lufthansa 1 to Charlie, contact with ground 12175, goodbye.
12175, Lufthansa 1 to Charlie, Dankeschön, tschüss.
Checked. .500 continue.
500.
KLM 6 for X-ray, wind check.
KLM 6 for X-ray, wind 120, please, 40.
Approaching minimums.
Checked.
Minimums.
Continue.
100. 50. 40.
Light slow.
20. 10.
.364, wind 120, please, 100, 1 clip left.
Speed back up. Thrust was normal. Idle. 100 knots. .80 knots. Manual brakes. Let's roll all the way to the end, and there we're going to vacate.
Airbus 251, wind tower 7, wind 120 degrees for us, runway 16, shift takeoff.
KLM 6 for X-ray, runway vacated. We're going to stop the airplane here and shut the engines down to have the emergency services inspect the airplane.
KLM 6 for X-ray, roger.
Okay, we'll stay here. So, thank you everyone for joining. This is going to be it. We are going to keep the airplane here, and the emergency services are going to inspect the airplane now. From here on, we would consider... from here on, we'd make considerations like how are we going to handle the passengers. The airplane would be brought